Thank you, Christine. Call to order. Minneola City Council meeting. We may all please rise for a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. Vice Mayor? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Agenda review. Mr. Yeager?
I'm good.
Ms. Flynn?
I'm good, thank you.
Hernandez?
Looks good.
Mr. Saunders?
Good.
Good evening, Mark.
Hi.
Agenda review, we good?
Yes, ma'am.
Scott?
As noted on the agenda, if I could request a motion to table items 9, 10, and 11. Those all deal with impact fee adjustments. If we could table those until the August 18th meeting.
August 18th, thank you, it is on there as well. Perfect. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All righty, so I'm going to open it up right now with public comments. We are limiting it to 3 minutes. If we can, please sign it up front or in the back, and let's go. Good evening, everyone. Anything that's not on the agenda, come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I signed in on the back. I think you all know me, Doug Hoteling. I live in Madison, right here in Minneola. First item on the agenda here was infrastructural projects. First word I don't have right, I know that, but I know what I'm talking about. I'm curious about what's happening with the dog park. It looks like they just started on it, and it's been 6 weeks since you closed it.
On the dog park?
Well, no, not dog park, the whole Trailhead Park.
Oh,
Excuse me.
okay. I was going to say,
My
they're not doing any.
apologies. I live across from the
I
dog
was like,
park.
what
and
are
I
they
missed-
doing to the dog park?
No, I missed the dogs, so it's like that's
Yes, I know. I
foremost on my mind.
hear you. That would be you, sir.
Yeah, so the infrastructure projects, that's where we go through all the open projects that the city has, the Trailhead Park being one of them, so we'll go through that on the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Derek Alexander, and I live here in Minneola, 872 Meadow Park Drive, and I'm here tonight to give an update on my Eagle Scout project for the Heroes Memorial Pier. I'm here representing Scout Troop 786, and today I met with the production team here in Claremont, who's working with my leadership to create a star chart plaque. A lot of decisions have been made to create an educational and inspirational star chart that encourages exploration and reflects the courage and sacrifice of those this pier will be dedicated for. As I've been working on my Eagle Scout project, I have been reflecting on the core values of Boy Scouts, our oath and Scout law. I have been incorporating these values into the design process, the inspirational quote, and my own interpretation of the greatest star and its meanings. I am excited for the pier completion during the centennial celebration of the city of Minneola. I am also excited I can complete my Eagle Scout project on the 250th anniversary of our nation's independence. I look forward to the installation of the Star Chart plaque during construction of the pier and to the community dedication in the upcoming future. I hope to inspire the citizens of Minneola to not only remember all the heroes who this pier is dedicated for, but also to look to the heavens, our vast universe, the stars, to find exploration and hope of a greater future that has been given to all of us by those who gave all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all your hard work, Derek. Thank you. Excellent.
Hi, my name is Debbie. I
actually live at 354 Division Street, which is technically in Claremont, but the Minneola Library is actually the closest library to me. And I just wanted to bring it to attention that there's a sign that's on the wrong street, pointing the wrong way, down the wrong street, saying that that's the library with an arrow. And it's just not in the right place at all, and it's very confusing. It's not even pointing to the old library. So I'm not sure why it was ever put there, but I just wanted to bring it.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Mark, if you can look into that, please? I'd greatly appreciate that. No, thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate you.
I am Farmer Banks Helfrich. I live in the Clara District, North Claremont. Farm tip of the day: the most despised vegetable which grows right now is okra. However, I have a super cool hack on a way to make okra appetizing. Chop it up into pinwheels, salt, pepper, oil, roast it, make it nice and crispy, kind of like popcorn, except I call it okra pops. Mayor, council, distinguished guests, we are now 250 years old, yet who are we as Americans? We are travelers over the Bering Strait Bridge some 20,000 years ago with names like Hopi and Navajo and Seminole. We are settlers from England in search of religious freedom. We are immigrants from China and Israel, from Africa and Asia, from Nicaragua and Colombia, in search of a better life for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. We are forced immigrants from Africa, yet we call America our home. We are black and brown, we are mocha and white, we are the rainbow of the world. We are Christian and Catholic, we are atheist and agnostic, we are humanist and Sikh, we are Jewish and Muslim. We are what we think we are. We believe in what we believe in. We love who we want to love, and we are who we are, exercising our liberties and our freedoms in this great country of ours. The two things that Americans have that no other country has is, one, we are diverse, and two, we are united. In fact, our first name is United. Without United, there is no us, and without unity, there is no United States of America. I am Farmer Banks Helfrich, candidate for State House District 25. I am an immigrant, and I believe in the United States of America. May you all be blessed. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll go ahead and close public comments. If we can go to project updates.
First one, Mark, is the City Hall, oh, actually, no, that one's done, sorry. The Grassy Lake Road striping and winding.
Yes, sir. I have Fred and Dan here to give you the most up-to-date current information.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Fred Miller, African American, and I'm a Christian. Amen.
How do you feel about okra?
Grassy Lake Road, Education Avenue. So we finally have all permits in hand, and we're basically waiting on a notice to proceed from FDOT. So FDOT reached out last week, a couple of weeks ago, and since we're doing the construction management in-house, they wanted resumes from everybody that's working on the project. So we've submitted those, and we're just waiting to hear back from them.
Do we have any ETA as to when they'll respond back?
I have no idea. I reached out today, and they said they would get back with me. So it's under review. It's been under review for a week now, so I don't expect it to be another week or so before they let us know.
Can you forward me, do you have an email or a contact person you're dealing with over there?
Yes.
Can you forward that to me? I'll see what I can do.
Yes, I forwarded it to
Or
Mark.
Mark, can somebody
right,
forward it over
right.
to me?
Yeah, so once we get the notice to proceed, I don't expect it to be more than 6 months before completion, if all goes well, so.
Okay, and that's for both Grassy Lake and education?
Yes.
Alrighty. Any questions from council for that?
Nope, thank you.
All right, next one is the second fire station in the Hills area, Mark?
Yeah, the design is 60% complete for the station. I received those plans today and forwarded them to Councilman Saunders also today. I'm sure he hasn't had a chance to look at them, nor have I, but we may have to expand the scope a little bit with some grading options. We met with the adjacent property owner for Minneola Ridge and talked about ideas for the parking lot for the Teardrop Lake Park. We had a good meeting on that 2 weeks ago, maybe.
About 2 weeks ago, yeah.
So we're making sure we're working with our neighbors and everything works together the best that we can make it with the topography that we have, trying to reduce the amount of retaining walls and things like that.
All right, what's the next big milestone for that project?
Sir?
The next big milestone for that project?
Right now, we're reviewing a change order to expand the grading stuff, the site grading. Then we review the 60% plans, and then from there, they take our comments back and do 90% plans.
Okay, so it will be 90% plan will be the next milestone.
Yes.
Do you have any ETAs to when we think construction will start and when it'll be open, even if it's high level?
I don't have that. We're budgeting for that to be completed over a 2-year time frame. So half will be paid this next fiscal year, and then the other half the following fiscal year. The good news is that we continue to serve that area through a nearby station. So there's public is being served while the project's underway.
So we're in 26. Do you feel confident saying Q1 of 29 you think it'll be open?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And as us here in Minneola, we are famous for this, the work of the council. No debt was taken on this project, correct?
Correct.
Very good.
We save and save and save, and then we
That's right.
put
Very
it
good.
out there.
All right. Next, we have the speed monitoring project for Oak Valley.
Yeah, Oak Valley Boulevard, the speed humps have been installed and they seem to be working well. We have, we hadn't had any complaints that's gotten to me anyway, so.
Have we received any other requests from neighborhoods? I know, Debbie, you requested one for your neighborhood, is that correct?
Yes.
Do we have any update on that? Or do we know which neighborhood we're going to tackle next?
I'd have to get with Councilman Flynn on that, but typically, we really need to, ideally study the areas that are being requested and make sure the traffic counts and the speeds and all warrant it, and there's no other, because you're putting an obstruction in the roadway that's not supposed to be there, so there is some liability that comes with putting those in. So usually that's sort of the last option that we look for.
Okay.
My main focus was not necessarily on the subdivision, because there's one right there in front of our park. It was mostly on South Avenue that passes by the park that needs to slow down.
So you said South Avenue?
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty. All right, this one I know we've been seeing more and more, especially now with Crooked Can open. That's the Hancock widening that the county is supposed to be undertaking. Do we have any updates on that, Fred?
Yeah, I was out this morning, rather, and Hughes Brothers has been awarded the contract, and they're slated to start within the next 30 days.
You know where they're going to start first?
No, I don't.
And you said the next 30 days, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, with that project, does that also include the light signals that are going to be going on Hancock, or is that a separate project?
That project includes a light at Keystone Pass, I believe that is, the entrance to the Crooked Can there.
Perfect. Yep. Keystone Pass.
Remind the public that wasn't here back then, when the interchange was being designed, that part of Hancock Road, the traffic counts at the time didn't warrant a 4-lane.
Right.
And so the city council had the foresight to require it to be graded and designed for a 4-lane, meaning the infrastructure and the drainage and all is further back.
Right, right. It's
So that could
4-lane
be-
ready. if you
So
will.
they could be easily
Right.
installed. I think we're probably one of the first ones around that did that.
Awesome.
So congratulations to City Council for that. Should facilitate this and make it go a lot faster and easier.
Awesome. I know Chase, where are you? Chase was, that was one of the questions that we had on there, correct? So we could update them, and I'll update the neighbors as well. Okay. Next is the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah, wastewater treatment plant, we've received the 90% plans. They're under review. With that 90% set of plans, we've also applied for the permit to expand the plant. And so right now, we're going through some RAIs on that permit application. But the CMAR is on board. We're working through some particulars on getting everything ready for bid and want to go once we have the permit in place.
Again, not going to hold you to this, Fred, but do you have an ETA of when do you think that'll be open?
We're still shooting for first, second quarter of '29 to have that done, if all goes well.
I know there's been some confusion on this, so once we have this completed in '29, does that mean that we'll then be able to start using reclaimed water for irrigation?
Yes and no. So we're actually working on the project now to get reclaimed water returned out to the residents. So maybe that goes together. Maybe that's a delay because of the expansion. We hadn't worked that out yet. So
Okay. So you have a different project running concurrently to
Yes.
try to get it? Okay.
But you're still going to have to use that well to offset.
offset there, absolutely, yes.
You will not have enough reclaim,
Right.
correct? Thank you.
I think that's the case for most municipalities as well.
It is,
We do.
you
It's
never
just-
can generate enough,
correct,
so
correct.
that's why we put the well up there, but
Yeah.
that's going to have to happen.
Correct. I don't think there's any city that is running 100% on reclaim without having some sort of recharge, so. In other words, we're not doing anything different. We're not trying to speed it up
anybody
by
else.
using it. This is par for the course when it comes to it.
Right.
Right. Next we have is GFL contract. We're going to review that today, so I'm going to skip that. Now, Doug, this is for you. This is the Trailhead project. So, Mark and Fred, you guys want to give us and Doug an update on where we stand? Doug, where you up? There you are.
Yeah, so right now, we submitted for the stormwater permit, and we went through a process of RAI, and we responded to that, so we're waiting to hear back their response to that response, and we'll move forward with the permit, but the crew is on site now working on the ball fields, doing some particular stuff, so we are in the process of looking at pouring in place some things that we can do prior to the permit, so we can attack the basketball court, refurbish the basketball court, softball fields, some stuff like that without the permit. But right now, the biggest hold is the RAI process with St. John's.
Okay, Doug, did that answer your question? Thank you.
So there's also, a separate project with the bathrooms, of course, when we're working through that as well. So we got two things going on there at the same time, so.
Do we know when the bathrooms are going to expected to be reopened?
The plan is mid-August. Right now, we're working on the roof, and the electrical has been roughed in. We're working on the roof, so the plan is mid-August to have that open again.
Have we spoken about, and maybe this has to come back to council, but putting in some sort of timer on the doors, so after a certain time, you're not able to get in and it deadbolts it, or, deadlocks it?
Yeah, not with this project, but we can look at that after this project is done, because this is all through insurance deal.
Sure,
And
sure,
we gotta
sure.
put it back how it was, so we
Right.
can look at that at a later date, so. yeah.
Okay. Mark, can we put a note on that so that we can review that? And just for the public, so we're redoing the bathrooms because of suspected arson, is that right? Can I say it that way?
Yes.
So potential suspected arson did ruin the bathroom, so we are in the process of redoing them. The insurance is, of course, paying for it, so that's why we have to wait till everything is put back to how it was, and then we're gonna try to evaluate, see what options we have, so this doesn't happen again. So again, just to bring the public up to speed on that. Okay. 1 second.
But on the Trailhead Park piece, there was a list of stuff that we talked about the timeline leading up to December 5th, right? So there was a list of things I added in to telling us what we anticipate to have completed by December 5th. So there's a couple of lists there, so we'll know where we are.
Yeah, I did see that email. Do we know if we're gonna be able to hit the main items for the centennial?
Yeah, those are basically the main items.
Okay, great.
The biggest thing outside of that is the restoration to the wetlands and butterfly gardens and things like that. So most of the bigger issues will be taken care of.
Right, and again, just for the public's awareness, that doesn't mean we're not gonna do it, we're just prioritizing
Right.
stuff that we're gonna have for the centennial. Okay. All right, next item is, this is for council, we do have the park workshop number 2 on the 28th, so just a reminder for everybody. All right, another one for you, Fred, is the second phase for septic to sewer.
Second phase of septic to sewer is still on hold. Mark and I had a conversation a couple of months ago where we could probably do some dry line stuff until the sewer plant is completed and then, permitted to be put in service. But right now, it's on hold pending the expansion of the plant.
Okay. That's prior to the wastewater project being completed.
Yes.
Okay. It's done. The memorial wall, Pam, is that completed? Can we close that out? Okay.
Yep, we'll close that out. Thank you.
Yep. Splash pad, the library, I think we put that on hold as well.
Well, no, because we ended up
Then the splash pad
in
at
the.
Correct,
splash
correct. We
pad.
did it at Crooked Can, so I think we put
Yeah.
it on hold just to see.
And that's fine, you can
Yep.
leave it on hold. That's
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Next is the pier. I think we had the update from Derek. Thank you, Derek, for that update.
And
Any
if we
other?
can get any further updates on permitting?
As far as I know, we're still waiting on permitting.
Yeah, so we have permits back from DEP and St. John, so we're waiting on the Army Corps of Engineers. You have to have all three to do that, so we're waiting on that as far as permitting.
Okay. Okay. I read the Citrus Grove project. I'm sure as everybody have seen, that project has already been underway for quite some time. Do we have an estimate as to when that will be completed?
Their goal was 18 months from starting.
Yeah, I think I had it on there.
Have they?
Yeah, I think it's September 2027. It was a 570-day project, so September 2027 should be completed. Hopefully before, but that's the deadline.
Okay. And that is it for me. Council, any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank
I'm
you,
good.
Fred.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, back to you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, moving along, we have the city manager's consent agenda. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved?
I have a first. Can I get a second? I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried, 5-0. Thank you. Moving to discussion and action items. Item 3, ordinance 2026-09, County Road 455, annexation and rezoning, second reading.
Ordinance 2026-09 on second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Minneola, Florida, providing for the voluntary annexation of 4.88 acres pursuant to Section 171.044 Florida statutes, generally located north of Bear Spring Road and west of County Road 455 in Lake County, Florida. Upon annexation, rezoning the property from Lake County Agricultural District A to City of Minneola Agricultural AG within the City of Minneola, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. And ordinance 2020, we can go ahead and do item 4.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Ordinance 2026-10 on second reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Minneola, Florida, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment, amending the land use designation from rural on the Lake County Comprehensive Plan to agricultural on the future land use map of the City of Minneola's comp plan for 4.88 plus or minus acres of property generally located north of Bear Spring Road, west of County Road 455 in Lake County, Florida, providing for conditions and contingencies, directing the city clerk to transmit the amendment to the appropriate governmental agencies pursuant to Chapter 163 Florida statutes, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. If there is anyone that may wish to speak on either item 3 or 4, if they could please raise their right hand so we can swear you all in. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you give this evening is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say, "I do." Okay, and just as a review, annexation is a legislative matter that is within the sound discretion of our 5 council members up here. The swearing-in part is the rezoning, which is a quasi-judicial matter for the ag-to-ag change of rezoning. This is our, I might as well say this as well, this is, I think, the 5th public hearing on this matter. We've had 2 P&Z commission meetings, and due to re-advertising, this is our 3rd time before the council. I say that only because many of you have testified before. This is a public hearing, and it's a God-given American right to speak at a public hearing, but know that what you've said previously is in the record, so there is no real need to repeat, but if you wish, you may certainly do that. We also, as has been mentioned previously, just so there's no surprise, 2 of our members, Mr. Yeager and Mayor Service, have recused themselves and will not be voting this evening. So there's just 3 council members that will be voting, but we'll take a vote of 2 of those 3 to approve these items. So with that, we'll go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. John Lozano, Planning and Zoning Department. So this is presenting items 3 and 4. You will see items 8 and 9 up there because that slide, I did not correct it. I apologize for that. I'm presenting the comprehensive plan amendment, annexation, and rezoning for 21097 County Road 455. The applicant requests that approximately 4.88 acres of property be annexed into the city to be rezoned City of Minneola Agriculture AG. I'm sorry. The property is located north of Bear Spring Road and west of County Road 455 in Lake County. It is currently in the agriculture zoning district of Lake County, which is equivalent to the City of Minneola Agriculture AG. Per section 98-2 of the City Code of Ordinances, the property is contiguous with the city's corporate boundaries and may therefore be annexed. The presence of County Road 455 between the city boundary and the subject property may not prevent annexation according to Florida Statute 71.03, Item 3. Policy 1-2.9.1 of Comprehensive Plan of City of Minneola describe the activities allowed under agriculture land use designation. Among the mentioned is single-family housing, 1 dwelling unit per 5 acres. The proposed land use is not against the goals or policies in the comprehensive plan. Staff recommendation for annexation and rezoning of 21097 County Road 455 is approval. The planning department took into consideration the property being contiguous to the existing city limits, complying with the Code of Ordinances of the city, Florida statutes, and the interlocal service boundary agreement. Staff recommendation for comprehensive plan amendment of 21097 County Road 455 is approval as well. The department's approval of the small-scale comprehensive plan amendment takes into consideration the proposed future land use, which is consistent with the comprehensive plan of the City of Minneola. We conclude that the spirit and intent of Minneola City Code is effectively and substantially met by both ordinances. If you have any questions, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
Are you going to take public comment first, or do you want comments from us first?
No.
Oh,
Any
for him?
questions for him?
Oh, no. Thank you.
Just a question for Joyce, if I may, or Judge
Sure.
Wade. Joyce, just to confirm, did we receive, so part of the process, and Scott, help me out here, is that we need to inform the county that we are annexing or potentially annexing any land into Minneola. Though they may not need to respond back, typically no response is no issues from them. Is that correct?
Correct. We sent them a certified letter back, I believe it was in May or June, about that. The only response I got was just a call from the county attorney just asking me, if it was on the agenda, and that was it.
We didn't receive any other emails, communications, phone
No,
calls?
sir.
Carrier pigeons?
Nothing from the
No.
county, no, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Okay, now we'll bring it back to public comments.
I don't know the rules of all this, but I wanted to just ask if the board members could look at this as I speak, but I don't know the rules. I didn't know, I was going to try.
If you can hand it to Christine and
I'll hold it up
see
for
if,
everybody. That's fine.
thank you.
Sorry, I don't know the rules, I apologize.
Thank you, you're so sweet.
I just,
I'm not as pretty as Vanna White, but I'll try.
thank you. Mark Stover, 21111 County Road 455. Thank you for your time. I will
Thank
be
you.
brief, and I don't expect you, sir, to stand there. I wanted the folks to see this.
Sure.
All right, so please allow me 15 extra seconds. I will be brief and keep within the 3-minute limit. I
Thank
just have
you.
a few questions I would like to ask, and I would respectfully ask, can the city council answer these questions before making a decision? The city sent a letter to the county on May 6th requesting, I quote, "written confirmation of the county's approval of the proposed annexation." I also spoke to the county attorney and our county representative. Has the city received any approval from the county? The letter actually requests the county to written confirmation of the county's approval. Your letter asks the county to provide written approval. Has the city council received that approval? Is the council aware that Florida Statute 171.031, Section 2, states that with respect to annexation, in addition to being considered contiguous, a property must also meet the compactness rule. This section states that compactness means concentration of a piece of property in a single area and precludes any action which would create enclaves, pockets, or finger areas, which, as I understand it, would be an area that juts out from your boundary that otherwise would be contiguous. So contiguous is not a standalone reason for annexation under the statute, as I understand it. And I don't believe the county agrees with me based on the conversation I had with them in terms of contiguous is not a sole factor. It has been suggested at a couple meetings by some member of boards that residents may only be showing up because of who the applicant is. For the record, I do not know the applicant. We have never been introduced. As I would wish for anyone, I wish the applicant only good things. I'm here because after work one day, I received a letter that the city wanted to annex property from the county. For me, this matter has everything to do with what happens once boundaries change and initial plans get changed over time. That paper was given to me years ago, back in the 90s. It shows what Sugarloaf was supposed to be in public meetings. That paper's dated 1994. As you will see, what was originally planned along 455 was an 18-hole golf course, single-family homes, and commercial property. The city's website will show what is actually going in that same area is going to be a high-density subdivision. As far as I can tell, no golf course and very little commercial property. The point is, in my opinion, this is not about one man's wish to annex a property. It is about the city annexing a county property and applying city rules now and in the future, which are inconsistent with county rules that are in place today. I would like to respectfully ask the council, has the city in the past few years allowed for a zoning change within the city from agricultural to single-family low or medium density? If so, that would confirm my reason I'm here tonight, to voice my concerns to change this property from county to city zoning. Has nothing to do with the person applying. It has everything to do with the nature of the request. Finally, this annexation, if approved, will in effect disregard the collective will of many people who years ago attended and participated in numerous county meetings held by the county years ago to create comprehensive plans throughout the county that were supposed to be followed for years to come. So I feel that by doing this, it circumvents the county, has nothing to do with any individual. It has everything to do with the plans that will change in the years to come. Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. No, sir. Thank you. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Eric.
I'm Tom Moore. I live at 21135 County Road 455.
Good evening.
In respect to what you said, I'm not going to go over everything that we've been over for the last 2 months. I just want to preserve my complaints from before. Also want to say that on your agenda tonight, you talked about the objective being a voluntary annexation pursuant to 171.044. So I have a copy of 171.044, and paragraph 2 says, upon determination by the governing body of the municipality that the petition bears the signatures of all owners of the property in the area proposed to be annexed. I would tell you that this was done by Mrs. Yeager. Mr. Yeager's signature's not on there, and I would contend that you can't approve it the way it is because it doesn't meet the Florida statute. That's in addition to everything else we've said before. That's what I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go to the next one, Scott, any comment on that?
Yeah, I was kind of keeping a list, but yes, Mr. Yeager has joined in the petition since the original. The original application is correct, just had Ms. Yeager's signature on it, but Mr. Yeager has since done that. It is a requirement that prior to council approving it, they need to confirm that both owners have approved, and I believe, Mr. Yeager, you have joined in the petition, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you,
If I
Scott.
may finish on that subject, the original application was completely different than the one that we have today. The original application, Mayor, I think you told us that you had no knowledge of anything about it, but when we read it, you were actually the one that notarized it. So I'm not sure how you had no knowledge of it when you notarized the application.
I notarized, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Smith, D-U-A-N-E, at 2767 Purple Meadow Court. First, I oppose the annexation of this property into the city because I believe that while the owner is asking for a voluntary annexation, the act of annexing the property by the city is a hostile annexation. For the city to annex a single property within a community or subdivision is not seen as a normal annexation. The city's actions are impacting the other residents of the community of which this property is a part of. Second, the zoning of this property as ag is a violation of the city ordinances, which require 5 acres to be the ag district, section 102-61 of your code. As to the acreage of the property, the boundary survey with the applicant's package shows the size of the property to be 4.8639 acres, and not the 4.8814 stated by the applicant. The council and staff have put forth a false narrative to try and fit a square peg into a round hole. In particular, council members claim that there is a plus minus to the figures given in the code. This claim is without foundation. All city values are viewed by the law as being true to the values stated in the code. I would ask the city attorney if he believes that there is a plus minus to the city code's numbers to please let us know how that works. Second, the city staff has created a concept called functionally equivalent. There's no place in the city code that I could find that the term functionally equivalent is simply not defined. For example, if one exceeded 35 feet in height or 18,000 square feet in their place, is this bigger thing functionally equivalent? I'm going to say the owner will think so because they built it that way, so it would do a better job for them. The city claims the property was 5 acres at one time. First, there's nothing shown in the record that this property was ever 5 acres or more in size. Second, the most important is that it is irrelevant as to whether or not the property was at one time 5 acres. The key is that the current owner bought the property knowing it was less than 5 acres. It does not really matter what the size was in the past. The owner is not grandfathered into the city's argument that the property was at one time 5 acres. The owner knew what they were purchasing, a house and land that is approximately 4.864 acres, as is evidenced by their boundary survey of the property. The city is failing to follow its code to grant a variance to the land development code. If the city wants to give an ag designation to this property, they should follow their code and have the owner submit a waiver under section 98-13 of the land development code for the city. What we have here is the owner requesting a variance and the city trying to justify such a variance without following its own code to grant such a variance. A lot of time was spent by the members on the dais of the last council meeting trying to explain they were not giving special treatment. It is always interesting when people need to defend their actions with such vigor. It's almost as if they themselves can see their actions are going to be perceived by others as not being fair or granting special privilege. The fact that there appears to be no legal basis for granting this zoning request does not serve to dispel the view of special treatment no matter how much the chorus protests. Maybe take a little reflection back on the Eagle Scouts thing about having the people be with oath and their laws. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Chris Perkins, 21103 County Road 455. Just a quick recap on some of the facts in this. At the June 2nd City Council meeting, at the 6-minute, 54-minute mark, City Attorney states that Mr. Yeager wants his annexation to keep the City Council seat. On the July 6th Planning and Zoning meeting at the 35-minute, 20-second mark, Mr. Ken Rose clarifies and Mr. Yeager confirms annexation is for the purpose of keeping his City Council seat. At the 1 hour, 0-minute, 54 timestamp, Mr. Yeager bloviated that this would be the first time that the city of Minneola had ever annexed a agricultural property. And at the 1:01-minute, 47-second mark, Joyce from the city of Minneola Planning confirms that in fact it would be the first time ever that the city of Minneola was going to annex a agricultural property. And that's something. Florida Statute 112.313 subsection 6 addresses the misuse of public position. It makes it a violation for any public officer, employee of an agency or local government attorney to corruptly use or attempt to use their official position, trust, property, or agency resources to secure a special privilege, benefit, or exemption for themselves or other. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Jennifer Morse. Why doesn't it ever? Jennifer Morse, 1064 Golden Dawn Loop. So this property owner's rights are not being taken away if you say no. He purchased property in Lake County under Lake County zoning with full rights to use that property under Lake County rules. Denying annexation does not take his land, does not remove his residence, and does not infringe on his property rights. It simply means Minneola is not obligated to redraw its municipal boundary for him. Under Florida law, Minneola is not legally required to approve this. The statute says an owner of unincorporated land may petition the municipality for voluntary annexation, and the governing body may adopt an annexation ordinance. The statute says may, not shall. The discretion should be exercised for a legitimate municipal purpose. That is what Chapter 171 is about. Municipal boundaries, orderly growth, sound urban development, and efficient provision of urban services. It is not supposed to be used to move city limits around one person's personal circumstances. This is not what his application shows either. The resident says it will remain a residence. It will stay on well and septic and will generate no additional traffic. That stated reason is not water, sewer, public safety, roads, housing, economic development, or orderly urban growth. The stated reason is that the owners want to continue to serve the city of Minneola. This is a personal reason, not a municipal planning reason. Minneola is not just annexing land here, it's also changing the comprehensive plan to fit this one parcel. Ordinance 2026-10 changes the land use from Lake County rural to city agriculture. That means this parcel is not simply being brought into an existing plan. The city is actually amending the plan to accommodate this request. And where is the analysis here? Where is the fiscal analysis? Where is the utility analysis? Where is the service impact analysis? Staff-owned report says the fiscal impact is undetermined. So tonight, we know that he will become subject to city laws and is entitled to the same privileges and benefits as other parts of the municipality. So if this parcel comes into the city, the owner shall have a much stronger argument later for city services. But tonight, we have no cost estimate for extending utilities, no answer on who pays, no capacity analysis, no fiscal impact study, no condition requiring the owner to pay 100% of any future extension. This is not responsible planning. Minneola's boundaries should be based on public need and not personal convenience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cherie Kennel, 21145 County Road 455.
Good evening.
I'm going to start real quickly with, and you know who I'm coming to, Mr. Sanders. I had sent him an email after the July 7th meeting asking a very simple, specific question, which, going back to the point that we talked about earlier, is the 5 acres. So he very pointedly brought up a very specific magical number of a tolerance of 0.12. My question to him was just this: what's the source for that? I got an answer from the email, but not an answer to my question. Followed it up the next day with, again, my simple question: what is the source for that? No response. Third email, no response. So not only is that disrespectful, unprofessional, but it certainly is suspicious. So to go back to the July 7th meeting, when you brought up that 0.12 tolerance, it was based on state standards. What state standard? Then you referred to it as a state statute. What state statute? It's a very simple question. If you brought this up and were so specific on the July 7th meeting, allegedly that should have been loaded. That source, you had that. You had that before the meeting. Why not give that to us and why not be specific? It's suspicious. We're not playing horseshoes here. Close enough is not good enough. In a simple real estate contract between two people buying acreage, even that spells out what the plus or minus margin is on a property, and both parties sign it. We're talking about a city ordinance, and somehow I really feel that that should be right, and it's a very suspicious number to come up with, because as we all know, the 0.12 added to your 4.88 is exactly 5.00. That is what I have on my first issue. The second issue is and I just want to follow what people have already said. On the face of it, it doesn't make any sense. The entire east side of 455 is annexed and city property. We are about 200 acres on the west side. We don't want to be annexed. That's clear. We're all here against that. I'm asking, can you just stay off of our side of the street? Can you give us our clear 200 acres without cutting something out? Because if past is prologue, once it's annexed, and this is our fear, the property that has been annexed so far, it's now developed. It's clear-cutted. There's no trees. And going back to what Mr. Hernandez said a few meetings ago, when he drove down County Road 455, which it is not County Road 455, it's Scenic Highway 455. And he understood our point of view because it's beautiful. It's why we bought there. It's not that anymore. The scenic part is us. We are the line that's holding what makes that road scenic. It's not scenic to drive by and see multiple development, subdivision after subdivision. So please, can you just give us our side of the street? Sometimes it means something to do the greater good. A good life is a balanced life. Good planning is balanced planning. You have plenty on your books. There is plenty of development. You guys are going to be in great shape with tax dollars. It's all there. I worked exclusively in Minneola for developers selling homes. Sorry, everybody. I know that the development's coming. We're not ignorant to that. But can you give us a balance? Don't make us hold the burden of keeping the scenic part of what is a unique and beautiful county. Because if you take that away, what do you have? It's like any other county in Central Florida. It loses that gem of the hills. It's not subdivision of the hills. You got to keep something. And so we are asking, can you please give us something that retains why a lot of us all originally moved here? I think we deserve that. And Mr. Yeager, if you wanted to be in Minneola, you should have bought a property in Minneola.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. You can go sit down, please. When you called me the first time, you were polite.
I was what?
You were polite. Do you think you're polite tonight?
I'm direct and polite.
You can be
You
what you
think it's
want to be.
polite to blow me off?
When you said to me, I'd like to know what the procedure is for contesting the decision that the council makes. That, to me, ended our conversation. And I said to you, please contact the attorney, and he'll explain to you if there is a procedure. I said, I don't know of a procedure to arbitrate or contest or change the city's legislation. I'm sorry, I just don't know about that. Okay? Don't start talking or I'm going to interrupt you.
You go right ahead.
You asked me to tell you where I got the number .12, okay? I said it was a standard in Florida. Okay? You understand that?
I understand that's a general term.
You said you were in real estate. Okay? In real estate, they use the term 5 acres as an estimate. They don't use it as an exact number. Okay? Now, I can sit here and I brought along some information, but it'll take quite a while to go through it. But if you're not satisfied with the simple explanation, I'll go through the whole explanation. Okay?
Excuse me, in interest of time,
The
I don't want the whole I just want the source of where the exact number .12 comes from.
Okay.
Let's cut to the chase, if you don't mind.
If you Google the typical acceptable estimate for real estate in Florida, you'll come up with the number 0.1 to 0.25 acres is the typical estimate of a lot when you express it. That relates to 10 to 25% of the square acreage, or the square feet, sorry, or 4,356 to 12,890 square feet in a 5-acre lot, okay? If you want to contest what the real estate business in Florida does, that's up to you. But I'm quoting a Google search that gives the real estate acceptable standard. Now, there are 3 terms that they use: nominal standard, rule of thumb, and maybe you don't understand that. That's an electrical term, really.
I don't think any of these terms are hard to understand. I think they're all generalizations, and that's my problem. You came up with a specific number, and what you're saying right now, and what you said at the last meeting are all
I just explained it to you. If you were listening, you would understand it. The number is 0.1 to 0.25. 0.12 is the lower end of that number. And if you work in real estate and you don't know what real estate is measured by, then that's your problem, not mine.
I'm going to ask you one more time. You referred to an exact state standard or state statute, and this is your answer?
Did I
This
say statute?
You did.
I
You
said
actually did.
standard.
Rewind your tape. You first you said state standards. First you said generally speaking.
All right.
Then you referred to a state standard. Then you referred to a state statute.
I don't have a photographic memory. I'll accept that I made a mistake when I said statute. What I should have said is nominal standard, okay?
And my point, if you can understand, in a real estate contract, I understand that there is a plus or minus margin, but it is specified in the contract. In your ordinance, so let's go back to the ordinance. If there is this generality, if there is this standard, why is it not in the ordinance? Because that leaves it very subjective, based on your generalities that you've just stated. And subjective seems like that's a little bit too much wiggle room for something that just doesn't seem,
Well,
seems like it reeks of dirty politics. You're doing a
you'll have to
solid
think
for.
about what cities do and counties do. The county put it at 5 acres. It wasn't 5 acres. The city put it at 5 acres. The applicant put it at 4.88 acres, plus or minus. If you add .12, you get to 5 acres.
Not if you go by the 4.86 number, right?
I don't know where that came from. The number I saw on the application was 4.8.
From the survey he submitted?
But the point is, and you're not accepting it, and that's your issue. The point is, all these numbers are estimates. And a specific tolerance of an estimate, guess what? Is still an estimate.
Then why does it not spell out, as it would in a real estate contract, why is that not spelled out? Why are we
In the city
having to
ordinance?
accept your generalities of what you interpret that to be? Because that's essentially what you've just given us.
Not my generalities, that's the way the real estate market in Florida works.
Again, July 7th meeting, you referred to, generally speaking, state standards, state statutes. These are your exact words. Generally speaking, it is this. But you provided no receipts at that meeting. And my simple question to you was,
Because I
what-
try to keep it simple. You want me to go for the full explanation?
You know what, Mr. Sanders?
I happen to, look,
You still have not explained why you didn't answer me in the email. That gives you no excuse to
I didn't answer
not address my simple question
because you
in two
became
emails.
hostile, just like you're hostile right now.
Hostile.
Because you people who live in the county think you want to run the city, all right? You don't run the city. We listen to you. When we're done listening, we'll make a decision.
All right, guys. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you. All right, guys. So
Here's another.
I have somebody else that wants to come up. I agree, we all need to take a minute. Everyone needs to take a minute, and we need to breathe. As some other people have mentioned in planning and zoning meetings, just need to breathe. I agree. Thank you. I agree. Yes, sir.
Hello. My name is Dan Rood, R-O-O-D. I live on County Road 455. I'm in Ferndale, down the street from David Yeager. I have 111 acres, my wife and I do. I wasn't here today to say anything about this issue. I'm here to talk about something else, my wife is. But the issue that I see is what we're all experiencing that live in Lake County and butt up against Minneola, which is everything that has been annexed, has been developed, and it's surrounding us. And there's a lot of, as you can tell, anger and folks that are upset. I just would say that I don't want my property annexed and at all. I'm in Ferndale. I've been a big part of keeping development out of the area. But I would like to say what the issue really is about is a guy that I do know, David Yeager, that wants to serve the city of Minneola. I can't speak to the specifics. The people have done that about what they think about it, but I know that David Yeager is a very good voice for the city, or would be. I know what he thinks, and what he wants to do is serve your city. And really, it's all about him wanting to be a part of that. And people eloquently spoke just now about what maybe he should or shouldn't have done. But I know that's what he wants. He wants to serve your city. And he doesn't want to continue, like many of you do. There's enough development. I think people are very comfortable with the amount of development that's already occurred, and I can't speak for David, but it's certainly not in his, from what I heard when he was excited about buying this property and being hopefully one day part of Minneola, was that he wants to have it exactly rural and agricultural. I can't imagine him ever wanting anything else. But I know him, and I'm sorry that most of these people don't, because he's a great man and a good man. And but at the same time, I certainly understand we feel under siege in the area, and that's what this is all about. And I don't think anybody, and they said it, that they don't have animosity toward David. It doesn't sound like it's just what you're trying to do, David. But you're a great man, and I hope you'll find a way to be able to serve the city of Minneola.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Closing public comments. Bring it back to the board. Ms. Yeager, any questions, concerns, comments? Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not see you. My apologies. I apologize. I didn't see you.
Oh, no, I was kind of last minute. Good evening, and thank you all for your time. I just have a quick statement, comment, really. Again, like the gentleman was just saying, it's honestly not an issue about this particular applicant. It's just an issue with, once it becomes into the city, now it's under city rules, and it's no longer part of county rules, and it generally becomes easier to develop. So, you know, he can't live there forever. You know, at some point, somebody else is going to own that property, and what happens then when there's a different owner, and they want to do something different with it? So it's nothing personal against the applicant. That's our main concern, really, and that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Can you just put your?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I signed in, but it's Emily Stover, 21109 County Road.
Thank you.
450.
Thank you.
Scott, I have a question for you. Because there's such contention, can I stay with the county rules and still be annexed in the city of Minneola? Because the county rules are much more lenient than the city rules, and it would still be Lake County rules.
Yeah, the council can just annex the property and keep it county zoning and county comp plan. We don't
Correct.
typically do that.
That can
because
happen.
That can happen. That could be done.
I think that's a compromise.
That would be up to council if they wanted to do that, yes.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Yeager?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
Ms. Flynn?
So I'll tell you, I want to tell everyone a little story. We had an applicant run for mayor, and he lived in the Sugar Mountain District. And he knew it wouldn't be right to run when he wasn't in the city. What did he do? He bought a house in the city, and he ran for mayor. So if you want to stay, it's been perfectly commented that the reason for this annexation, he said it at the P&Z meeting, and he said it several times, that the reason he wants to be annexed is to be in the city so that he can stay serving the city, because you must be a resident. My question is, why didn't you stay in Del Webb? So this is not personal, I'm bringing you facts. So the facts are, and I've got a question for Scott. Will this annexation create an enclave or pocket of unincorporated Lake County land?
No.
Have you reviewed this annexation for compliance with Chapter 171, specifically the prohibit of creating enclaves?
Yes.
Can staff identify the exact point of contiguity between the parcel and the existing city of Minneola boundary?
Yes, it's the entire boundary fronting on 455.
So does any of this portion of this parcel share a common boundary line with the city limits, or is it just across 455?
Yes, it's
Or scenic road?
Yes, it is that boundary. For purposes of contiguity, you don't consider the intervening road.
So you're saying that this will not create an enclave?
Correct.
Will it create a flag lot or an irregular boundary that is consistent with the reasonably compact requirement of statute 171.043?
No.
The other thing I have a question for, and again, this is not personal. You can laugh all you want, it's not.
Well, it is personal. It's always been personal, but that's all right.
No, I'm going to base this on facts.
Go with that.
Because I believe if the applicant wanted to stay in Minneola and serve Minneola, he should live in Minneola, or she should live in Minneola.
And I have a house in Minneola, so I could buy another one too. So your point is?
Where your residence is.
2750 Purple Meadow Court. Thank you.
And it's empty. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Okay, so Scott, a question for you. According to there's 4 specific statutory conditions, one of them being that 100% owner consent. The petition must bear the signatures of all legal owners of real property within the area proposed for annexation. I don't know about you all, I have not seen any kind of documentation that the surrounding owners have signed an agreement. That is part of Florida statute. And we can go into contiguity, I can't pronounce it right.
Continuity?
Continuity, thank you. I can't say rural either. No enclaves. So what about the surrounding areas, the surrounding owners of these people that have been out there for 20 years or more, built their own homes? Have we gotten their signatures that they're okay with this? I haven't seen any documentation.
There is no requirement for a voluntary annexation to get signatures of surrounding property owners. There is in some of these citations, and I can go through some of those things in a second, there's a section in 171, frankly, a rather lengthy section at the beginning of 171 that talks about an annexation procedure that cities can go through. That is when some residents ask to be annexed and they wish to annex an entire area, they then take a vote of that area. In this case, though, there's only one property that's looking to annex, so in essence, we have 100% of the property owner seeking to annex that is coming into the city. So we're not annexing, and frankly, Minneola has never involuntarily annexed anyone. Lots of cities do that. Frankly, I live in a house. I was involuntarily annexed into a city. It happens. But Minneola has chosen not to take that path. They don't want people within the city that don't want to be in the city, and so, but in this case, it's a voluntary annexation, so there is no requirement for neighbors to
So
vote.
since it's voluntary, to Ms. Martin's comment at the Planning and Zoning, that when she was asking, since it is voluntary, I think it is a valid question to ask why he wants to be annexed. And that answer was to be in the city, to be able to serve in the city, to remain in this seat, at least for the remaining time, and then also to be able to run for a future seat if necessary. And then when we talked about his address at 2750, Ken Rose asked at the Planning and Zoning meeting that you're on septic or sewer with the county. David Yeager states that those trash services pass my front door. So you live there, right? At 455?
Well, obviously, you must have been drinking that day.
No, I got it.
What happened is the trash trucks passed.
And that is
the County Road
unprofessional.
455, so that must have been one of your drinking days.
That's unprofessional.
Well, it's.
That's
well,
exactly
you're the
what you
victim.
stated. That's exactly what you stated. When Mr. Rose asked you, is this why you want to be annexed in the city? Your answer was yes.
Okay, we'll go for yes.
Okay, so just for the record, so that I'm on record, and I posted this as well, and I want everybody to know why I'm not going to vote for this. As I mentioned, I cannot and will not support this annexation based on my responsibility to uphold sound planning principles and to ensure that every annexation complies with Florida law and serves the long-term interest of our community, like the neighbors who surround this property. I have serious concerns regarding whether this property satisfies the city's contiguity requirements and whether approving this request would set an appropriate precedent for future annexations. As I expressed in the last meeting, we're setting a precedent if we vote this in. Annexation decisions shape our city's boundaries, our future development, or influence our future development, and affect the services provided to both current and future residents. These decisions should be made thoughtfully, consistently, and without exception. I also believe our residents deserve complete transparency and accountability from everyone involved in this decision of this importance. Public trust is built when government follows law and applies it consistently and conducts its business openly. I would like the council to consider a couple of questions before we vote. Why was this requested? Let me remind you that Mr. Yeager was asked at the P&Z meeting, and he stated so that he could stay on city council. Number two, why is this needed? It's not. The people who need it are the applicants. Number three, and the last one, what is the benefit to the city? A couple thousand property dollars, taxes? There's no benefit to the city. And I'd like for the city council to really consider this annexation and listen to the voices of the people that surround this property. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez?
Since there's no motion on the table, I'd like to call for a 5-minute recess.
Sure. Can I get a motion for a 5-minute recess? Can I get a motion for a 5-minute
motion.
recess? I have a first. Can I get a second? Can I get a second for a 5-minute recess?
Well, all right, motion dies.
Motion dies. Thank you.
Fine.
Mr. Hernandez?
Scott, a couple things were said here on council, I'm sorry, not council, by the audience. So can you please clarify the 4.88 plus or minus in the 5 acres?
Yeah, and I can kind of go through, I sort of try to keep a list of some of the issues that were brought up, just to try to address them, just so people don't leave wondering. The 4.88, I would respectfully kind of call that a red herring issue with regards to here. There is no requirement, it has nothing to do with the annexation whatsoever. I mean, we can annex a .001 piece of property. There's no minimum requirement for acreage, so the 5 acres has nothing to do with the principal issue of whether or not to annex the property into the city. Nor does it directly have anything to do with the rezoning. There's no requirement that you have to have 4.88 acres to be an ag zoning. The 5-acre requirement is a design standard within the agricultural district in our code. It requires a 5-acre lot size to build a house. Frankly, in this case, if this was a vacant lot, the Yeagers may be taking a chance to annex in, worried that we may hold them to the 4.88. It's not 5 minimum acres. In this case, there already exists, as I understand it, a house on this lot. So there is a house that's been, in essence, grandfathered in or already has vested rights. So there's no plans to build, and nor have they been requested to build another lot. So the 4.88 versus 5 is, doesn't have a lot of relevance, I guess, if that makes sense in this case. And to take that further, if we're considering the correct zoning classification, the argument would be ag requires 5 acres, so you'd have to give it a higher density, which I think is exactly what the people in the county don't want. They don't want it to be single-family zoning, which is our next classification, which would allow many houses to be built on that lot. So I think the desire, if there's going to be a zoning classification, is to make it an ag zoning. So I hope that answers the 5 acres. Has nothing to do with the annexation, is not a requirement for the zoning, is a design standard within the ag category. So is that hopefully answer.
It does. I mean, I think there were some people in the audience that had some questions on that, so I just wanted to clarify.
And I understand it. It is kind of confusing sometimes, and it's a valid issue, but that was the point there.
So we're a little bit out of context, if you don't mind. So the gentleman who had the, I forgot who it was, who had the argument about the 5 acres, does that satisfy?
Not really. I get that it's a Dwayne Smith again. Not really. I mean, I get that it's a design standard. So is the 35-foot that you put on a building height and stuff like that. I'm saying that if you want to do that, then it's required for him to seek an application to do a waiver of your design standard to get that zoning, that classification. It's not, and it wasn't anything about the annexation. I don't like the annexation for a different thing. I'm talking about on the 5 acres to get to ag. It's the wrong process that I think the city is following. I think it has to be Mr. Yeager applying for a variance to the design standards so that he can have that designation if he wants it. So I'm not arguing whether he gets it or doesn't get it. It's just that contrary to what Mr. Saunders says, I can't find anything in any statute, any place, or any guidance anywhere that says that those figures that you put into a code are plus or minus figures, that there's variance to it. Variance comes when you go in and you go and make an application for the variance. You go through the hearing process, and the points that you're trying to make now, or you're making now, would be the ones that get raised by the applicant as to why, and the city as to why they think that variance should or should not be granted. But no, I don't think it answers the question of whether or not this particular time the council should ignore the design standard and issue a variance by giving this designation.
Right.
Thank you.
And Colonel, I've always appreciated your comments, frankly, and and that's what I was trying to say earlier. You are correct that if the Yeagers were seeking to build a house and they came in and applied, they may have to request a variance to make sure that their 4.8 or whatever met the 5. And then this council can take into consideration many of these things, that it's close enough, it's within the design standards, the loss of right. But that's, what we're doing here tonight is simply the annexation and rezoning. We're not dealing with construction or design standards or anything like that. And because there's already a house that exists, I don't think we're going to be dealing with that 4.8 versus 5 acre issue ever, frankly, in the future. So I appreciate your comment, and you are correct, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
One quick comment, though. So it was mentioned earlier by Mr. Yeager that if we were to keep this the same designation as county, so in other words, we just annex the lands, that would make the design aspect of things null and void because we're keeping it as per county. Is that correct?
That is correct. I hate that when that's done, and it has been done. I do know other Lake County cities have specifically just annexed property and frankly left it in the county just to annex it into the city. That could be done. Just as a general rule, the city, though, typically likes to have its zoning categories and its comp plan categories over its properties, but yes, it could be done.
Could be done.
And if that pleases council and the residents and the crowd, that I would have no objection if you wish to just simply annex, and certainly the Yeagers would have to consent to that too. But if you wish to just annex and leave, the statute specifically says if you don't give it a zoning classification, it keeps the zoning classification and the comp plan classification that it has in the county. So it would be exactly the same. The only difference would be it would now be within the city limits of Minneola.
Now, the other question I have for you, Scott, is, and this has been done before, I'm not sure if we could do this on a residential, but is there a way that we could put a covenant on this parcel so that should Mr. Yeager decide to sell it in the future, there's certain stipulations for that covenant? For example, like some of the folks here were saying, changing of zoning, adding additional housing, et cetera. Can we put covenants to this annexation in order to prohibit this from happening in the future?
Not that I'm aware of, no. The council couldn't put such a covenant on the property.
What about putting conditions such as not allowing to ask for city services such as water, sewer, et cetera, until the development across the street, or until there's a contingent, in this case, it would be the developer across the street, comes in and does put in those utility services, at which time allows him to tie in, because the majority of the work has been paid for by a development that has been already pre-approved many years before.
I don't think it'd be appropriate to put that kind of covenant as a condition to the annexation or rezoning. Certainly, the applicant could agree to that. The other thing that should be pointed out, though, is although the city could potentially provide those services, the city doesn't pay for those services. The applicant who requests them, for instance, if they wanted to have a line run to them, they would have to pay 100% of that. The city doesn't pay to run those lines, so it's not like the city would be losing money on that. And frankly, in most cases, the city has discretion on whether or not where it runs its lines and services them. So in most cases, although we wouldn't have a covenant, the city wouldn't necessarily, in this case, have an obligation to run that line just because someone asked for it, so.
I'm sorry, this sounds like a bunch of accommodations.
Excuse me?
It just sounds like a bunch of accommodations, like we're trying to write in exceptions and accommodations, and I don't know, I don't think that's right, but.
I respectfully disagree. I don't think we're accommodating anything. What I'm doing is I'm asking clarification, because I'm pretty sure, like we had somebody say that the city would have to put in those services, but Scott, he clarified that they would have to pay for it. So it's not accommodation. I think it's more fact gathering and information, because I for sure did not know that, so.
Yeah. And I think
respectfully
if you
disagree.
call them accommodations, they're not for the applicant. These would be accommodations for the neighbors who are objecting, to try to ease some of their anxiety, so.
So going back to the covenant language, is there a way, whether it's a covenant, maybe I'm saying the wrong word, maybe there's a stipulation or condition, where we can say, because again, I think a lot of the concerns based on the folks here was, well, we grant this annexation, what if David Eager wins the lotto, moves to the Keys, he wins the lotto, because I would do that. He sells it, and then the next property owner decides, you know what, this is already Minneola, I'm gonna ask for variance in order to do multifamily, as an example. Is there a way that we can do any conditions where that cannot happen?
Well, there'd be no entitlement whatsoever to do that. It's any property owner can always ask
Correct,
to
100%.
rezone their property. I mean, including the folks in the county, including anybody in the city.
Correct.
Those all, though, have to go through a public hearing,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody would get notice, and they have to, in this case, they'd have to be consistent with the comp plan. Keeping in mind that what we're doing here is we're making a comp plan zoning, or a comp plan land use of agricultural. So the council would have complete discretion to turn down any request for development, because it's not consistent with the comp plan. So if, in this case, let's say the Jaegers move on, it has a agricultural comp plan designation. If a developer came in and said, hey, I want to make this single-family housing, or put 5 homes on that 5-acre lot, they'd have no right and no ability, and the council would be completely within their ability to say no, because ag comp plan designation, which is the Bible, if you will, prohibits that, so.
And out of my curiosity, has there, and I'm not sure if you know this, maybe they do some research, has there been any situation where property values surrounding an annexation piece has gone down because of an annexation?
I don't know offhand.
But, no, but, yeah, you never know. Maybe you did that research,
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just a
know.
question to ask, so we don't know.
I'm not aware of any, or just wouldn't know, yeah.
Okay. And again, going back to the point of having to get additional variances if they were to sell to a different, 'cause I think that's been a concern of a lot of the folks here, is what if, it's a lot of what ifs, right, at the end of the day. And though they do have to come back for variances, have we explored, like I said, and I know you said we can't, but is it worth exploring a little bit more if we can put covenants to prohibit that in future? I'm not concerned about Mr. Yeager now. I'm concerned about the next property owner or the next property owner.
I don't think so. I certainly wouldn't recommend putting conditional or covenanted annexations. I mean, frankly, with all respect, there is more of a danger that one of the other county owners would move on and someone would seek to annex into the city and would not ask for ag comp plan designation, most people would ask for single-family residential or a more intensive So, and that would be an easier sell, if you will, than what is being done here. So in other words, because we have the underlying comp plan designation of ag, it'd be more difficult to have that changed in the future than someone who's contiguous to the city who wants to annex in from the county, and when they come in, can request, for instance, single-family housing or something like that.
Well, I fully agree, and what I'm doing is I'm not trying to do exceptions, I'm not trying to do favors, or however Ms. Flynn phrased it. I'm trying to put safeguards around the concerns that the council has, I'm sorry, that the residents of the county have. So, though you may not agree, and to your point, it could be, easier for maybe not somebody here, because I've, these fine folks, they, based on what I've heard, they live and breathe on their land, and I completely respect that, but it could be someone else who's around, the county that may want to annex in the future, or may not be themselves, but the next person who purchased that land, as we've seen for all the land that has been annexed into Minneola, many, many farms of many family members that they pass on, and the kids say, we want to get out, they sell to developers, and then here we are. So this isn't something out of the blue. This has happened time and time, and it continues to happen time and time again. So what I'm trying to find is how we can do, whether or not you agree or recommend, that's a different story, but what safeguards can we do to allow this to come in while also protecting the interests of the county? At the end of the day, I'm here to try to find a compromise, not for a David Yeager, but for a resident. Frankly, the matter is, I don't care if it's David Yeager, John Smith, or whoever the name may be. I'm here to look for the best interests of the people that want to come into the city and folks that did purchase because they want a different way of life, which I completely respect and agree with. So, though I may not be what you agree or you recommend, can we find a different path in order to satisfy and not get maybe David Yeager what he wants, maybe not get the residents they want, but have a good compromise that nobody leaves here happy? Because at the end of the day, that's what a compromise is. Nobody leaves here happy.
Well, keeping in mind this is a voluntary annexation, it is a request. As has been said earlier, and Ms. Morse said this, it is within the discretion of the council to say no. You can simply not annex the property. The other compromise, I guess, if you will, that was put out there was you can annex the property and keep it the way it is within the county zoning and ag and comp plan amendment. Or third, as is requested, you can annex the property and assign it the ag zoning and ag comp plan amendment, which has been requested. I really think those are your only three choices. Covenants to annexation are not something that are within the statutory discretion. And it's either a yes or a no with regards to the annexation. So, and plus the applicant themselves would have to agree to anything along those lines as well, given it's a voluntary annexation. So,
But given,
and keeping in mind general property rights of folks, councils don't have ability to just unilaterally assert covenants on private property owners.
Very true, but so going back to Mr. Yeager, is that something that you would consider putting some covenants where it would bring this closer to the middle? Based on what I said before.
No, again, there's two options. There's three options. It's a no. Keep it as ag the way it is in the county and annex it, or do it ag in the city. That's the three options. And again, it's council's pleasure. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. And it's life short is fine.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Anything else?
No, again, I think I would like to once again ask for a 5-minute recess. I think this has been a very contentious item. I think we all need to get a break prior to the vote. I'll once again ask for a 5-minute recess.
Kid, before you ask for that 5-minute recess, can I at least get to hear what Mr. Saunders has to say?
Absolutely, yep.
Mr. Saunders, do you have any questions, concerns, or comments?
No?
No? Okay. There you go.
Can I, real quick before we do, I just had two more things I just thought of. Scott, on both of the annexation applications, both of them, there's no, this is a part of our application process, right? Where the surrounding adjacent property owners sign it.
They don't.
Part of the application process,
They don't
correct?
sign. I think
Or-
that's
or
the
agree,
notice.
or-
I think that's the notice. I can't see, but I think there's usually is a
Just a list of all
a
property
list of
owners?
the people that are within the
Okay, so they
realm
don't
to
have to
notify.
sign or anything? Okay, just confirmation
Just
on that.
noticed, yeah.
And then Our letter to the county, it says that we respectfully request written confirmation of the county's approval of the proposed annexation. So are you saying now that we don't need the county's?
Yeah, that was one of the issues I'd wanted to address. One of the residents brought up that point, which I think is a good question. We talked about this previously. When this was begun, it was being annexed under the ISBA. The thought was, frankly, that they didn't realize the property was contiguous. When it was looked at and realized the property was contiguous, it qualified for the voluntary annexation. If you're annexing under the ISBA, which is where when that letter was sent, you have to get consent from the county. If you're annexing as a voluntary contiguous annexation, there's no consent required from the county. So the county has the right to object if they don't feel it's contiguous, but as has been stated before, that hasn't happened because it is. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Are you still,
I think it's needed
okay.
prior to the vote.
Okay, I have a motion to take a 5-minute recess.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 3-2. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, all. Thank you. 5 minutes. Please. how do you want to do them, sir?
Yes, you'd need to act on each of them separately and consider the annexation first.
Okay.
Before we do the annexation, do we want to discuss whether we want to move it over as per county, even though it's not Scott's recommendation to keep land use as per county?
However council would like to,
Whether we
It's up
need
to-
Should we discuss that?
if you'd like.
Go vote? All right.
The annexation fails, why do you have to do
Right.
the development code?
No, I think the request is annex it, but potentially leave it with the county zoning. So
Correct.
simply annex, not rezone the property would be the thing.
Correct.
And that is allowed, you can do that. My comment earlier is that you typically like to have your own code and your own comp plan, and somewhere in the future, there may be a need to do that, and then we'll go through this whole thing again. So it's kind of delaying the issue, I guess, in some respects. But if it does help, and I would have no objection if you wish to just annex the property and not assign a zoning classification at this time.
So does that mean that item 4 would then just die out?
That's correct. Then there'd be no need to vote on the comp plan change. If you're not going to change, you could deal with it, but correct. If you go that route, you just leave the comp plan change unaddressed and just deal with item 3, and the vote would be just to annex.
Okay, I will bring it back to council. Can I get some type of motion for item 3?
So
Are
moved.
are you passing the gavel? I thought you two were recusing.
Oh, actually, yes, thank you. My apologies. Thank you.
So we
And
have
that
a-
is correct, Ms. Flynn.
So we do have a motion. Can I get a second?
Is that motion to simply approve,
No,
Mr.
no,
Saunders?
yes, it's a motion for item 3.
As presented, the annexation with the ag rezoning with the
Yes.
city, correct?
Yes, so we do have a first. Can I get a second? I'm holding the gavel, so I cannot second.
You could pass the gavel if you wish to make a second.
Pass
That
it,
is-
gavel, pass it. Would you like to accept the gavel?
Sir?
Nobody else.
Yes, sir.
I'll second. Okay. You want to do a roll call vote? Want to do, it's only 3, so it doesn't matter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-1. For item 4, do we have to vote on it and then just let it die out?
Well, you did, item 3 that was approved, annexed, and did give the city ag zoning, so I would recommend approving item 4 would be consistent with that then. So,
So, I'm confused.
wait,
Did we
yes.
just annex?
Did 3 with the ag zoning, city ag zoning.
No, but I specifically said to do it for the county, though.
Yeah, but that's not what Joe.
no, Joe's motion
Joe's-
was for
you didn't
city,
do
yeah,
that.
so. And I would, frankly, with the city ag zoning, I believe it would be preferable to have comp plan, and frankly, this would be more beneficial for those concerned, to give it a city ag comp plan as well. So I would recommend, consistent with what you did on item 3, to approve item 4.
So I'm confused. So the annexation did not approve?
No,
Was
the
not-
annexation was approved with city ag zoning. Correct. 2-1.
Motion to approve comprehensive plan amendment.
Scott, can I say something? That was confusing. I don't, I'm sorry, I'm not for this annexation. So I don't know how it was worded and the gavel got passed. I'm confused.
Well, that's why I'd asked Mr. Saunders to clarify that when he motioned for
sorry.
approval, it was for the annexation with the city ag zoning,
And he said yes.
Yes, so, that's, but.
Yep, so for item 4?
Yes.
I made a motion.
We have a motion on the floor. Can I get a second? I will not be passing the gavel on this one.
And actually, well, anyway, so I'm getting this sense. That's fine. If, I believe the zoning that is assigned in item 3 is a conditional zoning that is contingent upon the comp plan amendment also being amended to be consistent with that. So if you don't approve item 4, effectively, it'll stay county zoning, county ag plan, but it is annexed into the city.
Correct,
So-
yep.
Okay, which I think is where you're
Yep,
getting to.
that's fine,
Yeah,
yep.
Okay, yes.
You need me to,
Sleep here or what?
yeah, that's fine, so we can pass the gavel. I'll second it. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Aye or nay? So it fails 2-1.
Okay. So the property is annexed into the city, but will maintain its county zoning and comp plan amendment
Correct.
designation.
Thank you. Alrighty, guys, moving right along to item 5, ordinance 2026-13, Founder's Ridge CDD Amendment, second reading. Scott?
Yes. Ordinance 2026-13 on second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Minneola, Florida, amending ordinance number 2007-06, which established the Founder's Ridge Community Development District, providing for amendment to change the geographical boundaries of the district pursuant to Section 190.046 Florida statutes, providing for all other terms and conditions to remain unchanged, providing for conflict and severability, providing for an effective date. As was stated at first reading, this is simply releasing a parcel of property from the Founder's Ridge CDD. As was stated in the title, all other development terms and everything are unchanged.
Thank
And staff
you.
has recommended approval.
Thank you, sir.
The applicant's attorney is here. Oh, there she
Open
is.
it up to the public. Any questions, comments, concerns? Bring it back to council, since it is, I apologize, sorry.
Item,
That passes in the annexation?
so the annexation, so essentially what's happened, the annexation passed, but the zoning is kept under county.
Yeah, that I understood perfectly. I was just curious what board member voted for what.
I'm so confused, I wish I
Yeah,
could take
so-
it back.
So for item 3, for the,
Correct.
yeah, for the annexation, the yays were Joe Saunders,
Okay.
Eric Hernandez. The nays was Debbie Flynn, Pam Service, David Yeager abstained from the vote.
Okay.
For item 4,
No, that's all I was interested in was the annexation. Because I just want to see how, because it happened so fast, there was yays and stuff like that. Okay, who voted for what?
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Okay, so opening up for public comment for item 5, ordinance 2026-13. Anyone in the audience, questions, comments, or concerns? If not, we'll bring it back to council. Mr. Yeager, any questions, concerns, or comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Ms. Flynn, anything? Mr. Hernandez? And Mr. Saunders?
No comment.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2026-13?
Motion.
I have a first. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'm sorry. All oppose? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Ordinance 2026-17, data center moratorium, second reading. Scott?
Ordinance 2026-17 on second reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Minneola, Florida, imposing a temporary moratorium for 12 months on the submittal, processing, and issuance of any local business tax receipts, development orders, development permits, utility capacity approvals, or other city approvals having the effect of permitting or allowing the construction, establishment, expansion, or operation of data centers, data center facilities, large-scale data centers, or large load customer facilities as further defined herein. The temporary moratorium shall apply to all real property located within the corporate limits of the City of Minneola, providing for legislative findings, providing for definitions, providing for severability, providing for appeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for an effective date. This is the second reading. As was stated at first, this is in essence, neither pro or necessarily against data centers. It's just they are not addressed in our code. This is a temporary pause or moratorium for up to 12 months to allow staff to address this. I think as you requested last time, we were anticipating having workshops and getting public input and making sure our code adequately addresses these relatively new phenomenon that are hitting our city.
Thank you, sir. Anyone from the audience? Bring it back to council. Mr. Yeager?
No, thank you.
Ms. Flynn?
Thank you.
Hernandez?
Nope.
Mr. Saunders? Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2026-17?
Motion.
I have a first. Can I get a second?
Second?
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All oppose? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item 7, solid waste services discussion, GFL draft contract modifications.
Okay, I previously sent the council a draft version, and, you know, it's still being negotiated. Some of the terms are not fully agreed upon with GFL. But GFL's here, our representative's here to discuss any concerns or questions you may have, anything you want added, taken out, anything like that. They're here to talk to you about that.
Thank you. Skip, good evening. Council?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and fellow council members. For the record, Skip McCall,
Good
Government
evening.
Contracts Manager. Good evening, with GFL Environmental.
Anyone from council have any questions?
Yeah, Mark, so this isn't the vote to extend, this is just reviewing it as is.
Yes, sir. Just review contract terms and anything that you may want to be modified.
So, Skip, give us the, 'cause I'm pulling up the agreement now, but while I do this, can you give us the overall high level, what it stipulates? And I'm more interested in what happens after year 3. Can you just
Sure. go
through that?
Well, let's just kind of go back from,
Have you seen the contract we have before us, the draft?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I have. And we made some comments back from the red line version, I think that was sent out, and have made some recommendations to that as well. So some of those things that Councilman Hernandez brought up, I think at the last meeting, was some of the, some fines, if you will, with things like liquids being spilled on the streets and a time to cure and those things like that, which we have, again, since the last meeting, what we said that we would agree to. We don't have any problems with those. Make sure that, you know, as long as we have a time to make sure we cure those things, then we'll be willing to agree to that. So there was other things that I think that the city was asking for. I don't know if we want to go through an exhaustive, you know, conversation of whatever that entailed, but, you know, the things like a 35-gallon cart, you guys wanted to see maybe a smaller cart size that we would agree to, but for the most part, we did provide those comments back, and we're at the position to bring this to the finish line, right? And it's a 7-year agreement, I believe is what we talked about, doing a 3-year term. And we're okay. I know the city has maybe some interest in doing some other things that maybe at the last 6th or 7th year of the term. We're willing to help with transition if that's the will of the commission or the will of council or the will of the city management or whatever you guys are wanting for GFL to assist with. We're willing to accommodate in whatever those capacities may be. So after year 3,
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I think, what was your question?
So what happens from a price increase perspective? So this locked in for up to 7 years, or can you explain how that
So
works?
yes, after year 3, with regards to CPI escalation, it would follow CPI with a max cap. So there would be a max cap of not to exceed 4%. So that kind of, you know, really basically is kind of where the CPI has been following. As you know, it fluctuates between 3 and 4%. I think right now it's about 3.5%. But it can go up as high as 7, 8%, as we saw a couple of years ago. So that's maybe just something that gives the city a little bit more comfortability, knowing that that escalation won't be more than 4% within any given year after year 3.
Okay. That also includes, I'm assuming, any changes that we want to do, whether it's decrease of service, increase of service, how would that fall into that?
I think the way the contract is designed to give you the ability to be able to, the flexibility to be able to negotiate that.
Okay. Now, as any good custodian of business, I'm sure, just had a situation with you before, you always want to get multiple quotes. I know you did tell us that because of the current agreement and relationship that we have with you guys, if we were to go to the open market, this contract is essentially null and void, and you have to do an open market bid. Is that correct?
I think that's a process that the city council would have to agree upon to vote.
Right,
And-
but didn't
and
you
would go-
mention-
You would go out for
Y-
competitive procurement?
Yeah, so, but didn't you mention before that if we were to go out for competitive bid, that you would have to redo the contract for new rates because we are not signing an extension with you? Or is that not, I could have sworn that was said.
No, I'm not, no.
So the contract that you have before us, if we decide to go to the open market for competitive bids, that is the cost that we would get. That will be the contract that will be before us.
No, so typically, and again, I don't want to speak for your city attorney or the process, but typically, in our world, should a city go out for a competitive bid, that gives an opportunity for, obviously, all the haulers to submit their pricing based off of what the scope of services are at that time. Again, that's, if you want to keep the contract, normally the contract that we're speaking of with tonight will accompany an RFP solicitation, and you would have the RFP, scope of services, along with the company contract to go along with it as well. So, to answer your question, I think
So
you would
in
have
other
both.
words, the contract that we have now, that would be the same contract if we were to go out for a competitive bid and you do an RFP?
That would be a policy decision.
Okay.
Based off if you wanted to change anything in the scope, right now, I think we're talking about our current contract, basically with modifying it to where it would maybe be more advantageous for some things that we had talked about with customer service and things like that.
Right, so there's really no risk for us to go to open bid then to do an RFP process then? If the contract that's before us now is going to stay the same?
So coming from a professional perspective of what I do in this market area, you know what you got right now. You know your service levels. You know what the contract that you have. You know the rates that have been presented. So you know what you have. You go out for bid, it's an unknown. You don't know if rates are going to be higher. We know that we've done specific market research on a lot of these bids that have been going out for bid, and we've been seeing 25 to 35% increases overall. And that's something that I think that the city manager has done a very good job kind of talking about that the last meeting with some of the other contracts that have been out for bid, i.e. one that's close to you, the city of Mascot.
Right, but your rates won't change if we go out to bid, because you give us, right, but that's why I said, they can bid it, right, but that's why I said before, is the rate that we're gonna get back if we go to competitive market gonna be the same rate that we got on this contract?
If you're gonna ask me if my rates are gonna change what they are now, if you guys decide to go out for bid, I can't speak to that.
Okay, all right.
And the reason being is because, again, I have competition that's probably here tonight, and that would be not very fair for probably us to be able to comment upon.
Thank you.
The point you're trying to make, it's better the bride you know than the bride you don't know.
I would say it's a very good analogy.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I got some concerns about this, and, you know, in the existing contract, we said you couldn't start picking up until 7 o'clock. This says 6 o'clock. Who's looking for 6 o'clock? I mean, last time people were kind of concerned that rattling the cans and the truck going up and down the street at 7 o'clock in the morning, a lot of people wanted 8. We settled on 7, now we're going down to 6.
I think it was a request, but if it's 7 o'clock, I think, again, that we're negotiating those times. If that's what the will of the council would like to see, then we can keep that consistent to what it is now. That's just, I think it was maybe a request.
I don't know why it's going to 6.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, maybe somebody looked at it and say, can we start earlier? Can't really speak to that, but if you guys are used to the 7 o'clock start time, we can accommodate.
Well, if I had my druthers, I'd rather keep it the same.
Sure. We have no issues with that.
One thing where we've had anomalies is post-holidays, when they come out, usually the pickup day after a holiday, they like to try to start early because the volume is so much more, and in an attempt to get it all off the ground before, so.
But that's by exception, Mark.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
I don't think the city or you or anybody would have problem with by exception.
Yes, sir.
Just the
Those are
standard
just on
pickup time at 6
holidays.
in the morning. I think if people complained about it the last time, they might complain even more at 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Thank you.
As long as the council is willing to do an exception for post-holidays.
Contract changed to 7 o'clock, are we talking about changing the contract at this point?
Yes, sir, that's exactly.
And to just further with Councilman Hernandez's asked about the rates, it's a good question, and I get that a lot, to be honest with you. And things change in the scope of services with contracts. We have one in place now that we're drafting. We know what it says. We've redlined it. We've gone through it. That's why we feel very comfortable in what we presented. There are times that there's things that could change in this scope that is presenting in the RFP. That could be additional things that impact us capital-wise, equipment. So that's why we can't answer that question convincingly until we know what that looks like. And again, we have a contract that we know what it looks like. We've redlined it, so that's why we felt confident on the proposed rates that we have given you thus far.
Thank you. So just going back to what Joe was mentioning, Joe, you're asking to keep it at 7, not at 6, correct?
I'm asking not to deviate from the existing contract we have now.
Perfect, thank you.
I'll go on record in saying we can do that.
Thank you. I just wanted clarification on that as to what he was
And we
asking
have,
for.
even under our current contract, we have by exception gave them permission to vary on those hours, but
Thank
not
you.
as a standard.
Gotcha.
No, we're good with that.
Thank you.
Under, on page 5, at the bottom, the item D, or the bottom of item D, it's a long paragraph, but, and it's a long sentence. It's about build, I don't know where to start, this whole paragraph is a sentence, but towards the end, residential customers, all, I don't know how to break it up. I'm giving, hang on for a minute.
Sure.
The paragraph is so long, I don't want to read it all. But towards the bottom, it says that damage to the cart will be billed to the customer. My question is, who's billing it to the customer? The city? Or GFL? From my point of view, I don't think GFL should bill anything directly to the customer. I think it should go through the city.
I can tell you in 10 years of managing this contract, we have not billed any customer, to my knowledge, of anything like that. And Mr., again, those are provisions that, let's say, if a resident just takes a cart and sets it on fire and puts, I mean, that'd be something that'd be very negligent, obviously, in that way, but.
This whole paragraph, that section of the paragraph, all those words revolve around a damaged cart. If somebody calls you up and has a damaged cart, are you going to go out and evaluate whether they damaged it or you damaged it? So that's the whole point here, and that's got to be clear.
Yeah, and maybe that's something that we need to clean up in the contract language. That's something that.
We need to think about putting in a clause about billing people for damaged carts.
And again, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe maybe somewhere in there, Councilman Saunders, it gives maybe a definition of, if it's a damaged cart, if it was, obviously it was intentional, then that was something that they would be, but I can tell you, I know, to my knowledge, we've never did a cart assessment and said, oh, by the way, Ms. Smith, you owe me $50. I can convincingly say that, but if that's something that we need to clean up in the contract language, I'm sure that we can take a look at that.
Yeah, it does say under cart service, and I may not have the correct section, but it does say contractor shall be responsible for replacing or repairing any damaged cart at contractor's expense, unless such damage is caused by the misuse or abuse of the residential customer, such as
Correct.
setting it on
Like
fire. as you
vandalism,
mentioned.
yes, correct.
In which event, the cost of the replacement cart shall be paid by and billed to the customer by the contractor. So they would have the right. Now, obviously, we could always dispute that if somebody said, I
Sure.
didn't do that. and they could-
Absolutely.
There's a dispute mechanism thing in the contract, so.
Yep.
But that, you may have a different section, I'm thinking, than that cart service section.
Page 7. Item 2, recycling materials. It says that it's in the second sentence, the contractor shall pick up all recyclable materials which have been properly prepared for collection and placed in a recycled cart and set in an appropriate location. Where is it defined what properly prepared?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think it's in the definitions. It's 4 feet from the curb is what defines cart placement.
That's all?
Well, yeah, and
Doesn't
that's,
mean,
yeah, 4 feet from the curb
tearing
and,
labels off of bottles and not, putting cardboard in the wrong box or anything like that?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
It doesn't mean anything nefarious, like not putting the recycled material in the cart right, or,
I added that language while we were talking. There was concern that we would maybe have a fee for a missed collection, but the collection wasn't placed at the curb on time or by the street. And so properly placed really meant to cover, it was put out there on time and in the correct location. That's all.
Yeah, I think it was more or less the cart placement, not the contents of the materials.
So if we can kind of clean up the verbiage on that, just so we can
Sure.
have some clarity.
Sure.
Thank you.
Some of the positives, too, that I'd like to maybe kind of expand upon. This is going to be a contract that will be somewhat with the new technology that has evolved over the last several years. We do have in the contract, we're going to actually purchase 3 brand-new ASLs, automated side loaders, as we've talked about previously. So we'll have those for the new contract, obviously, year 1. And the other thing that we're going to, we put on all of our trucks now, and as a standard, is a third eye. It's a PSV, it's a positive service verification system. This is unique to some of the contracts that we just procured here lately. It's a customer-based service portal, which is really nice. It's something that we haven't had here before. We love it. The reason why we like it is because we do have a thing called DriveCam, and it does take those little video clips. But the positive service verification system on these new vehicles, when we actually are arriving at different houses, the driver has the ability to push a button that says that the cart was not out, or maybe wasn't placed properly, whatever the case may be. But these are just an added customer service from GFL's perspective that we're going to be giving to the city of Minneola with the rates that we have already presented. So that's just a added bonus, an added benefit for the city and GFL as well. Just more, it's, again, additional transparency, and we think that's obviously a good thing with verification, positive verification.
And what did you call that again?
It's called Third Eye Camera System,
Thank you.
and it's PSV, it's Positive Service Verification.
That camera system, is that a third party that manages that, or is that you guys?
I'm sorry, yeah, it's,
Third party.
yeah, it's a third-party company. It's Third Eye. They're called actually Third Eye, and they're used by a lot of the different haulers. It's been, it's a good technology, and we've seen that in action. And they're basically their cameras that they install in the either the hoppers or where the arm collects the cart itself. So
Right, so, but where are these cameras facing?
they can face forward. They can face the cart. We can position them. Normally, they're faced at the curb itself.
Where the cart would go.
Where the
So
cart.
no house information, no numbers will be
No,
used?
no, it's not to.
No, it's just
no,
pretty
it's
much
just for-
to say whether it's been picked up, whether
Right,
it's
right,
left
right.
out.
I just
or-
didn't know if it was like a wide angle where it captures, the house itself.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a nice web-based program that we've really started incorporating as a company. It's really it's a benefit.
Can you send Mark examples of what exactly it sees?
I'm sorry?
Can you send Mark examples so he can distribute?
I'm sure I can get some clips.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. Like I said, we have it in Polk County and Orange County. We just started that contract beginning of the year, so yeah, we can do that.
Thank you.
On page 9, under parks and picnic areas, it says the city shall have the right to use regular commercial type trash containers, carts or cans, dumpsters or roll-offs. Is that different than the previous contract?
Not in operation. I mean, they've been doing that for us.
Past 10 years,
Yeah, we do the cardboard during the holidays, most of the time, and they don't, that's not in there, but they don't charge us for that.
And it also says that there'll be pickup at city parks. The city shall provide a contractor list of all city properties and special events to be serviced, subject to amendment by the city manager at any time. And would that include, that's parks, that's the title of this paragraph. Would that include a park like in Highland Ridge? Or only parks as designated by the city manager?
City-owned parks.
Only city-owned?
Only
parks.
city-owned parks. Okay.
Would it include city property?
It does.
As an example, across the street from me, there are several acres of city property. And if I gather up stuff on that city property and I leave it on the city property, close to the curb, they never pick it up. Would they pick it up now? And I'm talking generally about debris, not household trash.
I'd have to do some research on that. I mean, if it's stated that we're going to be offering those services, which currently we do have at the city parks, and we provide that free service for you. So if there's something that is falling through the cracks or something, then we just need to.
Well, I don't know if it might be by intent that they don't pick it up, but is that something that would be put on the list of places where they have to pick up trash? And if it's there, they'll pick it up. If not, they won't.
It certainly could be.
Okay. So that's just a matter of your judgment.
We have a list now of the items. I don't believe that parcel has an address or even is listed, so we can certainly work on that.
But it is I think it's designated as a city park, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
On page 10, contractor shall maintain a complaint log of all customer complaints received and provided access to such at city request. Is there any frequency for that request, or do we request it every week? Should we have an agreement as to how often the city should request that discrepancy list?
It's just upon request, but we field a lot of the calls now. Utility billing does. They have since shifted customer service back nearby. And so the intent going forward is that they've improved that service part of it. And the intent is that customers will begin calling there and the issues will be handled, and we won't even be aware there's a complaint. So we would have to, therefore, go ask, for the list of complaints that they've been given. And normally that we wouldn't ask for that unless we get a request saying they've called 4 times and no one, responded, and then we'd ask for a list.
As you need it.
Yes, sir.
Item 7 on page 10, the contractor's declaration of bankruptcy shall be named a major breach of this contract. What happens then?
From memory, I believe we have the right to actually take over the equipment and
Yeah, you have a bond in place that you could pull at any time, but we're just, we're the fourth largest solid waste company in North America. We're publicly traded. We have financial backing that's something that I think is just, again, maybe contractual language that's just there to provide comfortability.
Thinking of every
Again, I don't have Esquire at the end of my name, but I'll certainly defer that to your city attorney. But a lot of that language, Councilman, is standard, I guess, if you will.
Well, I don't know why it's in the contract. Obviously, somebody put it there by intent.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it being in the contract. I'd have a problem with GFL going bankrupt. And now
Me
we're
too.
in a squeeze.
Yeah.
And it does say in the contract, in the proposed contract, that we can pick up the service with notice and all that other stuff. And that's probably good. Right now, the city has no intention of going into the trash business ourselves.
Sure.
It's kind of like just protecting us in case that ever happens, that you fail to meet the obligation that you sign up to. But as far as the bankruptcy thing is concerned, that bankruptcies can be kind of strange because they can go to the court and there can be a lot of things decided on by the court. And Minneola has to stay in the trash business. So I'm only bringing it up as a consideration. If somebody has a reason for it being there other than, gee, what happens if they go bankrupt and whatever, there's no explanation of where we go from there, and that's fine with me. So don't go bankrupt.
That's the intent.
While you're looking at that, yeah, bankruptcy is a standard default provision. It frankly gives the city several options, either to take over, get another company, whatever. It's considered a breach. So, for instance, if we needed to get another company and got them and it's going to be an extra $3 a month, you can file a claim. Now, it'd have to be in bankruptcy court for any extra expenses we have, but there are a lot of remedies that we could pursue in that regard, so.
So pretty much it's just to cover
Just to
the city.
protect the city.
One of the things here is we can take their equipment.
Right. That may be difficult, honestly, and.
I didn't bring
but-
that up because I'd love to own all your equipment. We take all your equipment and we'll go in the trash business.
Especially next year with
much
three brand-new pieces of
We
equipment.
would like to have your new equipment.
Yeah.
Let's clarify that,
Yeah.
because
All their
nobody
new-
wants their old stuff.
All their new equipment is what they can use in Minneola. That's
Yeah.
in the contract as well, so.
Yeah, that's about $1.2 million of an investment too, just those three pieces of equipment alone.
Yeah, what a windfall for us that
Yeah.
would be.
And not to get into the intricacies of bankruptcy law, but those type of issues, the bankruptcy court would have something to say over whether we
Right.
start snagging their
Not
equipment.
necessarily us taking your trucks.
But we would have remedies.
In here it says, I guess I gotta read all of this. Prior to the start of the contractor shall establish and maintain an office and maintenance facility within Lake County. Do you already have that?
We do.
So,
What page is that,
That's
Jeff?
one area of discussion that we're still negotiating. They're not sure what the future may hold. So while they have an office in Lake County now, near Tavares, they don't want to be bound by that, but be bound by distance instead. So around 25, 30 miles from us is what they'd like to change it to. So we're working through that now.
I personally don't see the need for it to be in a specific location as long as we can get to it.
Yeah. And
But
I can give
further
you,
on in this paragraph, it says where service may be applied for and complaints can be made. I can't see our residents going to Apopka to make a complaint about their trash. I'm not sure they want to go up to the northern part of Lake County either, for that matter. In the last contract, in the first contract with WCA, we put in a stipulation that there would be somebody on hand in the city hall for, I think it was 6 months, I'm not sure, but some period of time. And I think we have talked before about somebody being here to manage the complaints initially. But we've already established you in this community. I'm not sure we need that, but we certainly need a place where people can file complaints. Neighbors have said to me, I asked for a trash card, I didn't get it. I asked it again, I didn't get it, my trash card's broken. I won't tell you what I did, but that's irrelevant, but.
No, we will still maintain a local number here for the city of Minneola, like we've done, or we do currently. You will still have the same supervisor, Eric Poole. He is our dedicated supervisor for the city of Minneola. You will have the same drivers, you have the same staff, and if it's necessary that we need to provide whatever support here with the city manager, we'll work with him closely if that's anything that calls for above and beyond that.
So I'm gonna give you an example. Last week, someone in my neighborhood came to me, I was out working in the yard, and asked me, where do I go? My trash card has been damaged, the lid won't close, and he says, it's been like that for about 6 months. They just keep emptying the trash, but, you know, I'll leave the lid open.
God bless you.
Where can I get a trash card?
Thank you.
And apparently, he didn't know. I said, if you call GFL, they're obligated to supply a replacement for that trash card. And I kind of left it at that, but I didn't get into any discussion with him why he didn't know where to file a complaint. And frankly, I wasn't quite sure myself.
Yeah.
When you look at our Duke Energy, I have Duke Energy, I know across the street they have Seco. But on my bill every month, it says on my electric bill where to call if there's a street light out or if there's something wrong with my electricity that I need help with. I don't see that on my city
Your monthly utility
utility
billing?
bill.
Right.
There's a disconnect between the service of GFL and the billing and the communications to the residents. I think we need to close that gap so that people know on a monthly basis. And again, I see this every month on my bill, because I look at my bill every month. And I think it's necessary to tell people monthly, this is the number you call when you have a problem, and they can go and look it up and say, now I know where to call.
Yep.
And it's not, for COTS, it's not the city, it's GFL. So, in this case, I told them to go to the city hall and talk to the billing clerk, utility billing clerks, okay? Because they send out the bill. They should know where you can go if you need help.
Yeah, and we actually have provided a link on the website, on your City of Minneola website, that you can click on the GFL. And so residents can go to that website. I know they don't all use maybe laptops or computers, but maybe that's something that we can work with the city manager and say, hey, every month, do a, PSA or something like that.
Yeah, I guess the website's good. Everybody got access to the website because they have a PC in their bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we can put it on the city bill, for those that don't have a
Things that,
PC,
if you have problems with your water meter, call this number. If you have problems with your trash, call
GFL,
that number.
local number.
We used to do magnetic stickers of all the places you could call. You remember that?
Yep.
And, in fact, I still have one on my refrigerator.
Yeah. There's actually some in utility billing, that magnetic. Yep.
Yeah, but again, if I'm looking for a trash cat, I'm not sure I'm gonna go to utility.
Yeah.
I wanna somehow get to GFL to tell them I want a replacement for my car.
Yeah. And we're working on those behind the scenes. I've been working with Mark on some of those things, so.
Last but not least, several trash cans were crushed by that thing that picks them up and dumps them. And I hope we're long past that problem.
Yep, that's
And
been
I hope when somebody moves
addressed and
to
resolved. months.
Minneola,
Mhm.
they have their trash cart delivered in promptly.
Yep.
Not 4 weeks, 5 weeks later. However, if for some reason they don't get a trash cart, they can put their trash in bags, and you still gotta pick it up.
We do.
That was in the last contract.
Correct.
I wasn't sure I saw it in this contract. I don't think I did. But if somebody puts their trash out in bags because they don't have a trash cart, somebody stole it, somebody moved away with it, whatever
Yep.
the case may be, you still gotta pick it up.
Yep,
And then they should just call GFL and say, give me another cart, please.
correct.
Okay?
Yep, yes, sir.
Amen.
Noted. Yep,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
I'm hoping we get another, I like 10 years. That was a tough negotiation with WC. You remember that?
I do.
We beat you over the head several times to get
Yes.
the best contract, and it was good for 10 years. I wish I could get that again. I know you won't give it to us, but I wish I could get a 10-year contract again, but
I-
we'll settle for price performance index, so.
We're not opposed to a 10-year contract. I guess a policy or city decision, but 7 years, 10 years, 7 years with a 3-year renewal. 7 years, 3-year renewal is still 10 years, but, I mean, we're the council. We're your provider now, we're your incumbent, and we plan to hopefully be here another 7 or 10 years based off of what terms you are willing to allow us to be here for.
And best of all, your trucks are not gonna leak anything.
Correct. And you'll be able to see them all, for sure. They're lime green, obviously.
Skip, while you're there, I just wanted to thank you again for helping out with that business on 27.
Yep.
They were much appreciative, and
Good.
not only did you resolve the issue, you went above and beyond. So thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And this card does provide that this contract does provide that they will pick up the bags too. It's
Still there?
Yep,
Good.
still there.
Some things that have a lasting presence in this world.
Anything else, Mr. Saunders?
That's it for trash.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'll open it up to the public. Anyone else? Excuse me, does anyone have any comments, concerns, questions, anything? Okay, thank you for that discussion. We can move right along. Item 8, Minneola City Cemetery Rules and Regulations discussion.
Can I ask that we table that? Is that possible to have a workshop on it? Because I think it's a discussion that needs some time, and tonight's not the time.
For item 8,
Yeah, I would like, if we could do that. I'm sorry I didn't do it in the beginning of the meeting, but we didn't know that, we didn't know it would go on this long. So I
Okay.
would like to table it for a workshop, because I think it's very important, because we have homes, but we have no people, places at the end of the day, so.
got it, thank you.
I can agree with that, but I got an awful lot of concern about this. I've spent a lot of time working on cemeteries for the city, and what I'd like to go through some summaries that I have, not the whole contract, not the whole ordinance and rules and regulations, not go everything, but I'd just like to leave in your minds before we leave and go to a workshop.
Okay,
Discuss this later. I
okay,
got some general issues I'd like to cover,
okay,
keeping it simple.
okay.
Under the cemetery ordinance and under the rules and regulations, I have a problem, I have a deep problem about using the term owner. When you tell somebody they're the owner, they believe they're the owner. And must be 30 times in these two documents that the person holding the paperwork is the owner. They are the owner of the paperwork. They're the owner of the right to bury somebody, but they do not own the land. The land belongs to the city. Okay? That's new to these rules and regulations. In the past, people own the property. And bear in mind that this cemetery has been in the city since 1926. We don't know exactly how long it existed before the city became incorporated. And the cemetery came into the city during incorporation. So, my concern is, if you say something 30 times, you own it, you own it, you own it, saying in one paragraph in the contract, and I'd like to call it a contract, you're the owner, but you don't have ownership. That's going to confuse the hell out of probably 90% of the people. So the term owner has to be considered, and I have 3 alternatives to the term owner, but we don't need to discuss that now.
Thank you.
The term owner implies possession in something more than paperwork. Use of the term owner, Section 3, approval of the city manager, there's a section in there that has that missing. So the city manager is going to give all the approvals for this cemetery. The city manager can, in fact, as in all cases, designate somebody to make those decisions in his stead, okay? In section 22.6, it says the mayor will make decisions for the cemetery. That's got to be changed to city manager as well. The mayor, in past days, the mayor was running the city. The mayor does not run the city anymore. This gets winded, but in my experience going through the cemetery, the term lot is used by a lot of people. I purchased the lot, okay? And it's really, you purchase the plot. The lot can constitute several plots. You can have a family lot with 4 or 5 plots in it. So it's important that we don't confuse the term lot and plot, which is confused in this document, in these documents. And there's a place in here where it says somebody's going to approve all this, and it's going to only be approved by the city council. City council approves it. So that's a summary of all of this. But I can tell you, I got a lot of markup.
I appreciate that.
Sorry about that.
No, don't apologize at all. Definitely have that when we do our workshop. Can I get a motion to table this item 8?
So moved.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. If you can get a date for us sooner than later, please. Mr. Mark, can you, thank you, I appreciate that. Item 9, 10, and
Table.
11 and 12, they're all been tabled.
No, 12 is not.
Ooh, oh, no, it's not, my apologies. Damn, I went table. Thank you. Item 12,
Item 12.
sorry.
Resolution 2026-12, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Minneola, Florida, expressing its support for the acquisition and permanent conservation of property within the Ferndale Special Area, and encouraging the Lake County Board of County Commissioners to utilize available park acquisition funding to purchase and protect the property from development, supporting public access for passive recreation consistent with conservation, and providing for an effective date.
Mayor, can I start this, please?
Sorry,
Can I start this one? We're ready to go?
Sure.
I asked the city manager to put this together for a resolution, and let me tell you why this is super important. This was the 273 acres next to the Roots property and goes up behind Sugarloaf. There is money in the county to purchase this property. If you remember, it came to council before when Mayor Pat Kelly was here. And I think it's super important. We did what we did. We annexed what we had. And I think it's super important to protect that property. And to, if the county has funds, and there is another project is on their list, but this is really important for us to get behind this, and that's why I brought it forward, because I think we have enough growth going on, and this would just be a super project that Claremont, Minneola, Mount Verde, and the county get behind for South Lake County. So that's why I had it brought here today. And, yes, sir.
Is the objective to make it a county property?
Could I have the young lady stand up and do the presentation, please?
And funded by the county and the cities?
No, the county,
Only the county?
yes.
Is that person here?
Bruce, come up.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
And just so you know, background, she's worked her tail off on this, and this has been, this is like a 4-year, 5-year working, and she is super dedicated, and watch out, because she's wild. Thank you.
She smiles nice.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Thank you for your time tonight. I know we're all getting tired, so I appreciate you giving me just a few minutes here. My name is Rebecca. I'm at 19741 County Road 455 in Ferndale. It's a Claremont address, but I'm in Ferndale. My husband spoke earlier. It's interesting we're having this conversation now after the conversations we had earlier. But just to let you know, I am here just requesting a letter of resolution and support for this project. By a series of events, I was able to present to the landowners. They are actually in Ecuador, so this has been quite challenging for me. But I was able to present to them this program that Lake County offers to buy public lands for trails, greenways. So they were all for it in the beginning of the year. I got them going with the application, got everything submitted, so we're in the system. It's already being evaluated by Lake County. And we're just at a very crucial part in the process. Next week, there's a meeting on the 30th that is crucial. It's specifically about the trails portion. We applied to both public lands and trails, but anyway, I'm here for a letter of support from you all. Since you supported the ISBA, back when we had it extended in 2024, I kind of figured this goes along with that. Your wishes. So if I might just give you a little background on, and I think you have a map in front of you. I printed out a
Yes,
color
got
print, so you can kind of see the location and where it exists. There's some pictures on the back as well. But if you'll just let me tell you, the land is located in rural community of Ferndale. It has almost a mile of frontage, road frontage on Lake County Road 455, also known as the Green Mountain Scenic Byway. It's about 290 acres, actually. Of rare sandhill lakes, rolling hills, uplands, and wetlands. It contains a huge variety of plants and animals that simply do not exist anywhere else. This land This land provides the necessary refuge for wildlife in our ever-growing community, as we were talking about earlier. And because of its high sandy ridges, it provides high recharge for the aquifer and contributes to the Lake Apopka water basin. This property is on the Lake Wales Ridge, and because of that, it is ranked number 2 out of the 35 critical land projects of priority according to the 2025 Florida Forever Plan. There really is nothing like it left in this part of the county, or in our area. In addition to the biological features, it has tremendous trail connectivity potential to both all the Green Mountains Overlook Trailhead, to the Ferndale Preserve, to the Hancock Trail, and then eventually to the coast-to-coast trails. As some of you already know, there is an interlocal service boundary agreement in place to protect Ferndale from annexation and has some limitations on building, 1 house per 5 acres. This was agreed upon by 5 entities, as David was mentioning, including the city of Minneola in 2010. You all came together again in 2024 to extend this protection until the year 2043. We are truly grateful that all parties agreed to extend this protection. However, this land is still vulnerable, despite the ISBA. We know this to be true because of multiple offers made since this agreement has been in force. There's imminent pressure from all around its borders, and we believe someone will buy it, probably sooner than later. The great news is that it's currently being evaluated in Lake County's public land acquisition program, as I was stating before, and that's why I'm here today. The next meeting with the county is next Thursday, and this meeting is crucial, as I was saying. In order to move to the next step, the members need to agree and move forward with appraisals, and then to a recommendation to the BCC. We are actively requesting community support from multiple sources, including the city of Claremont next week. I met with the mayor yesterday. He's in full support. I'm going to be at their council meeting next week to request the same that I'm requesting from you. So today, addressing Agenda 9, I'm requesting for a letter of support from you. If Lake County can buy this land, it would become a refuge for all of us and would be protected permanently for our children and grandchildren to experience. This land is everything our beautiful part of this state has to offer, and we must protect it. We know it would also be a huge asset and increase property values for the new residents in Minneola. Lastly, and I'll be bold and plant this seed as food for thought for each of you. In addition to the letter of support, would you consider, as we move forward, to partner with Lake County for the purchase of this land? Any amount from the city of Minneola would show, in good faith, that you all care deeply about our natural resources and green space. There's been great efforts put into Wellness Way, but let's not forget what we have right here in our own backyards. Let's all come together and save this land before it's lost forever. On behalf of the landowner, our community, and this land that has no voice of her own, I offer my sincere thanks in advance for your support and this letter. Thank you.
Thank you.
On this, the city did previously try to pursue a Florida Forever grant to purchase this land. The property owners, there's multiple property owners, they met and the price almost doubled from what we were originally told. So it got, too much for us to consider. But in 2024, Lake County voters approved a referendum, $50 million bond to purchase land like this. And if it's not, of course, their state has grant money as well and things to help cover the cost. But if it's not purchased, it will get developed, and there will be a subdivision in that area.
And Lennar has already came there, and they walked away, but they're not done, I don't think. So I think this is really, really important to South Lake County.
What was the asking price, Mark?
The last number I knew was $20 million.
Yeah.
That was in 2024?
It was in that time frame. Yes, ma'am.
20 million.
Yeah.
That is the current asking price.
Come on up to the
Sorry,
speaker.
come on up.
Sorry.
That is the current asking price for Lake County. But as I was stating, we haven't entered negotiations, so I need to get over this next hurdle so we can have those conversations. Because I believe in my heart that the landowner is at a point where they realize they need to sell, they want to sell, and I think they'd be willing to negotiate. So that's on Lake County, so, anyway, it is 20 million right now.
So if this was to go through and Lake County does purchase it, who would be managing this? This would be Lake County that'll be managing it
Yes, Lake County.
in perpetuity?
I can't answer that. It would be a Lake County property, so legal could probably,
Right, so what I'm getting at is that, and I'm behind this 100%. I'm just looking at it for the future, make sure that we safeguard it permanently, right? So that Lake County can't go back in 30 years and say, oh, we're gonna sell it because we need the money. You
that's
know
a
what I mean?
great question. I don't know the answer to. I was assuming that it would be conservation forever, but maybe I shouldn't make that assumption.
Okay.
So.
And it very well
I need
may,
to find
but it's
out.
always good just to double check.
I mean, Ferndale Preserve is just south of that. You see on the map there, that's county-owned. So, I'm not sure.
I believe if they seek additional state grant monies, the state will
Yeah, I think the state has to
force that.
stipulate, correct, yeah, but I think if we do it on our own, then we have to make sure that's part of stipulations that it never, that it's a preserve in perpetuity. No one
That's
can
my
ever
hope.
come back.
That's
Yeah.
my endeavor here, to get that sealed, that deal sealed, for all of us, yeah.
Yeah, would sometimes depend on the funding. If they do go, for instance, through, as the name implies, Florida Forever, it is a perpetual conservation provision, and the county's own funding is the same way. The one that's on, you pay the extra tax money, that is a perpetuity grant, so. And the resolution that was drafted is for it to be held in perpetuity for conservation, but.
Can I just add one thing about the referendum, the 50 million? There is conversation with the members of Lake County that, depending on how Amendment 3 is voted, as we know, that could change the whole conversation. This could be, in fact, the last time they have money for public lands. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Though it is urgent.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public like to?
Who's this
Homeless
guy?
guy outside.
Yes.
I was out of my car watching this, but I wanted to speak on this because I wanted to put something else on the table because Pat Kelly, 1114 Windy Bluff. I discussed this previously with y'all. Another thing to work with the county is, and I don't know how it works, is if they adjust the CRA and include this because it's contiguous and extend our CRA out a little bit more, then that could possibly help us with the funding of this. So it gets creative. We can't decide on it tonight, but the problem is we had, and have to get them to buy into, is when we discussed this before, when we talked about it being annexed into Minneola so we can include it into our CRA. There was a scare from the Ferndale residents, which I understand, that Minneola was trying to do a bait and switch. I think now things have settled down. I think now there's some more, but I think you could open up the dialogue to extending the CRA out a little bit longer. That would help you funding this a little bit more to alleviate the burden, but it is just thinking outside the box. I think it's a great purchase for the city, but it's up to y'all. So you probably need somebody to work with the county, but that's an option of extending the CRA to come up with some funds to help that fund. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience? I'll bring it back to council. Anyone on council have any questions, comments, concerns?
And again, I think it's really important. What Mayor Pat Kelly said is if it's doable, I'm sure that man over there can make it happen. But we need to have an alternate plan if the county doesn't pick this project. I think right now it's just baby steps, and she's worked very hard, but baby steps to do a resolution that we support this project. And then if the county doesn't pick this project, then we can go to step B. But if there's someone on this dais who can do it, it's that man over there. And again, it would be a legacy for the city. I truly like to have it in the city, better in the county. But at the end of the day, let's preserve it. Thank you.
Ms. Flynn?
No question.
Yep, all in.
Sir? Okay. So what do you need from us? Just a consensus or just a recommendation?
Approval of the
to-
resolution.
A vote would be appropriate,
After
yeah.
resolution, and
Well, there is,
on the agenda.
the resolution's in your packet under item 12, so.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for item 12, Resolution 2026-12, Ferndale Special Preservation Area.
I'll second that.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, final public comment. Anyone in the audience?
If y'all wait, we can get that signed and get you a copy to take with you.
Andy Alexander, 872 Meadow Park Drive.
Good evening.
I wasn't sure what I was going to say here at the end, but I'm very proud of my son for coming in today and giving you guys an update. I wasn't sure that he would witness such a spirited meeting. But with that, my question to you all is, has the city of Minneola, through their various social media sites, have sent out anything to encourage as many residents of the city as possible to serve? I noticed Mascot had sent out a list of the chairs that are going to be available. They sent out how to register. They sent out the qualifications. And so I was wondering if the city of Minneola, with increasing social media presence that you now have, has the city done that before to encourage more residents to serve and give them the options of what is the qualifications?
That's certainly something we can consider. If you want to get with me or Christine and go over your ideas, we certainly.
Okay,
look
I was
into it.
just curious. As a resident, I know that there's going to be several coming up for certain seats or, running for mayor. And so I just wanted to go on public record and encourage every citizen that has been watching tonight, maybe they can just jump into. Heck, I might even throw my name in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, closing public comments. Mark Johnson, reports.
I'll make this quick. Councilman Hernandez asked us about gym hours. We have something figured out. I'm going to send that to you. While Trailhead Park is closed, to have some open gym hours in lieu of. Also, we're going to be doing some smoke testing very soon of sewer lines. You may hear residents, if they have dried P-traps or a broken line in their house somewhere, there may be a call there's smoke in their house or in their yard, but we'll be doing smoke testing in order to find any wastewater line leaks that may exist so we can get those closed up. We'll be doing a couple of areas first, and then, as the coming years, we'll be doing more and more of that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything for the city manager, Mr. Yeager?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Flynn?
No, thank you, Ron.
Mr. Hernandez?
Nothing for city manager.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Scott?
Just one item, following up from, I believe it was the last meeting, our legislative reporter Cheryl reported about the the governor's veto of the e-bike bill, and there were questions about why. We did look into it, and the governor did issue a short statement, and essentially, this sounds similar to what we've heard here on the dais, that the governor found the bill's proposed enforcement mechanism problematic, that it would be difficult. This was the e-bike thing that, among other things, prohibited anyone from operating an e-bike over 10 miles an hour within 50 feet of anybody on it. And he found that to be difficult and thought it could be better. And so I think it was vetoed, not with that being the end of the story, but hopefully there'll be a bill that comes back that finds a better way. Meanwhile, I do know that there are a lot of local governments that are continuing to pass various things on these, so I would suggest, at least by the time the Schwartzkos get back, and if they're watching this, I'll remind them, we haven't forgotten about them, that we'll have an answer for this, so,
Perfect.
okay?
Thank you. Anything for the city attorney?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Flynn?
Yes. Scott, I have a question for you. Would you agree, and both you and Mark would, I think you both would agree, that sometimes you can't hear what the other fellow council members are saying? Would you agree?
I maybe have
Like,
a
sometimes
better,
I can't
because
hear
I can
Joe
see
or-
you all from where I am, but it may be a little more
Yeah,
difficult.
sometimes it's
Yeah.
mumbled.
The way that to fix that, it's called a monitor. If we can get a speaker that's just facing towards us, then we'll be able to hear everything. It's called a monitor speaker that I've noticed, to your point, Debbie, that's what we're missing.
We're missing it. So with that said, I was looking this up too. On the annexation, when the annexation was coming up for vote, the 2026, the annexation, item 3, between the passing of the gavel and making a motion and a second motion, when I said aye, when it said those oppose, I didn't hear all the add-ons. So I was looking it up in Robert's rules, and it said, after the result is announced, but during the meeting, you can still change your vote, but you must ask the assembly for unanimous consent. So I oppose this annexation, and I would like to ask Vice Mayor Hernandez and Councilman Saunders if you oppose that I change my vote to oppose the annexation.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but you voted to oppose it.
Yeah, so I did vote, okay.
Yes, you voted, the
Oh,
vote was 2-1.
Yeah,
you
didn't.
No, you opposed both of them. No, I'm sorry.
You voted to oppose it.
Okay, so after the vote,
Yes.
I heard it says we are annexing it.
We are, because it's 2-1.
They did the
2-1.
to
2-1.
Yes. Hernandez and Saunders voted in favor of annexing, you voted against.
Okay,
For item 3.
it said,
For
oh,
item
we are
4,
annexing,
For item
okay.
4, it did not pass.
That did
And
not
then you and I voted no.
Okay, that is clear, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, because all the mumbling down there with the motions, I was wondering, oh
For
my
a
God.
definite no on both of those, so.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Those 2-1, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
That's all I got. Scott, thank you.
Oh, you're fine.
Anything for the city attorney?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Joe? No. No? Okay. Ms. Flynn?
No, I'm good, thank you.
No, open reports.
Excuse me?
You said Flynn?
Yes.
You missed Yeager.
Oh, my apologies, Mr. Yeager. Sorry.
What about it?
Any reports for this evening?
Yes.
Are you growing anything?
Yeah, I am. I'm growing watermelon. I'll bring you one when they come out
All
of
right,
the
all
ground.
right.
Okay, because
all right,
now I'm a farmer.
Let's go. Stop. Come on, come on.
Just
Miss-
so you know. But
report, sir.
anyway, so what has come good out of all this, that all our signs will be posted properly now. They won't be on a election sign. They'll be properly of all locations, because if they weren't, oh, we would have to deny it or tell them to come back next week. But just so everybody knows, is I have been put to the highest standards that anybody in this whole town has ever been. And, you know, I've been here since '94, and if there's anyone who knows me, and there's some do and some don't, and not one county resident that was here tonight or the 80 were here the first P&Z meeting that ever came to my door or asked me anything. It's all hearsay. But we know I'm not running for mayor because I'm not interested in running for mayor. But I have dedicated to myself to the city for years and done a lot of things here, and not once were they for my benefit. I have a business, and I do my business, and I work hard, and I've always, always put the city first. And I've been beat up my whole life, and I'm good with that. But at the end of the day, there was nothing evil about this. It was annexation. I want to be in the city. It's right across from the city, and that's the end of that's what I want to do at the end of the day. So whatever anybody believes, it's not true, and not one person, I said, for the county ever came up and say, hey, what is the real deal? And so I'm still here. Again, when you asked me to come on council, everybody voted for me, and I'm on council. Yes, you may not remember that, but you did.
Yes, because I thought you lived in the city.
Okay, well, obviously you didn't do your homework because I do live in the city, so let's not go there again because
Okay.
you know, you have a little issue of listening, so
Let's
the
go.
listening is a problem. But anyway, so at the end of the day is I've put dedicated to this city and done a lot for the city and like the Ferndale is a major project. And back in 2005 and 2009, as you age out, probably would have made some different decisions. Nothing's more disgusting than seeing Sugarloaf at the project that we put together that were supposed to be homes with trees everywhere, and all it is now is everything being torn down, clear-cutted and going. So how would you like to have those 5 homes that live there that were just probably losing their mind because we had a project and who knew it would go bankrupt? And so you have 5 homes out there, and now they're building, and they get there at 6 in the morning. Well, they need to get there at 7 in the morning, and they need to stop at 7 at night, and they need to follow the rules now. But, you know, the golf course was incredible. It was an incredible golf course, an incredible community that we approved, and things changed. But not once that I ever wanted everything clear-cut and see how many turtles you can dig out of the soil. Thank you.
Ms. Flynn?
Sorry, I have one thing. To Candy Alexander's point, Eric, I know what you've done, but for transparency, because people are asking me, we've gotten your mailers in the mail, and I know that you turned in a letter of resignation. So to Candy's point, can you tell the audience, I know what you've done, but maybe those who are watching or listening don't know what's happening because they're getting your mailers, but they still see you. Can you tell them or explain the process?
Yeah, not a problem. So in order, and I think, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, we discussed this in open, you know, in a meeting before, but I'll explain it again. So yes, to your point, as everybody knows, I am running for mayor. In order to run for mayor as a current council member holding a seat, I had to submit a letter of resignation, which I did, with an effective date of November 3rd, which I did. It stipulates that on November 3rd, I will step down, which is the day of the election. If I do win the mayorship, then I will be sworn in to mayor, which I'll be moving to seat 3, at which time my term will go from seat 4 to seat 3, and my term limits will then be full, since it would be from 26 to 30, thus having a full 8 years. Then this seat would then go for a special election, which us as a council needs to still approve a qualification date in which residents can qualify for the election to be held 60 to 75 days after I vacate the seat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Flynn?
No, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez?
Thank you. So I actually do have great things to add to the reports, as it was intended to be. Scott, can we look into doing a resolution to ban flock cameras in the city of Minneola? Flock, F-L-O-C-K? Yeah, so flock cameras, for those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody has seen these. These are license plate readers that are installed in order for the law enforcement to use should a crime be committed, there's a silver alert, et cetera. Don't get me wrong, I think that they do serve a great purpose, and there are plenty of stories in which flock cameras have been used in order to find and apprehend people. The problem is, as a technologist, flock has also been breached several times, and private data of these individuals, of databases of individuals, have been released to the dark net and to the black web. They have only acknowledged one data breach. So again, this is not a moratorium on wanting to forever not have this tool for our law enforcement, that we know we do use them quite effectively, but it's just more moratorium for us to put flocks in Minneola until the actual company Flock is able to really secure their databases so that our private information does not get leaked to the dark web. A lot of cities and municipalities are actually doing the same thing right now, just because of that. They may do it for other reasons, but I'm looking at it from a data perspective to make sure that there's no data leaks.
Okay.
Yep.
Assume that if the consensus of council is to do that, we can bring back for your entertainment.
Perfect. And then,
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
about
absolutely.
that? We don't have a police department. We use the sheriff's department.
Correct.
We don't generally in any case that I know, tell the sheriff's department how to be policemen.
We don't, but they could have the ability to put it on our streets intersection that we do own.
And I guess you're suggesting that the sheriff's department do use these cameras.
They have flock cameras. I'm not sure, well, let me rephrase. Lake County does have flock cameras installed. I'm not sure which entities use them. It could be Claremont, it could be Lake County, that I don't know.
So, but we don't know whether they're in Minneola or not.
They are in Minneola, just not a Minneola property. There is one on Citrus Grove and Hancock. And there are two in the hills as well.
Okay, so they would have to remove them.
No, because that is county property. So this would only be
Okay.
effective for city-owned intersections and
On county
streets.
property, and we have so many enclaves, I don't know how you'd enforce that.
Well, it's simple. Let's say they want to put one up on Education and Grassy Lake. Those are two city-owned streets, then they would not be able to because we have a moratorium that you can't put it on
What if
the
they
city.
put it along the turnpike?
Then that's their,
Turnpike's in
yeah,
Minneola.
that's their, well, it's not Minneola property, but it's FDOT property, and they have every right to do so because it's their property.
So you're not eliminating these flock cameras?
No.
You're just saying you won't support them?
Correct, in Minneola property.
In Minneola.
Correct, until they're able to come up with a true hardened cybersecurity protocol, as most companies that do have data breaches do come out with to ensure that our data is secured.
And you would know when they come up with this protocol?
Typically, when you do have a data breach, they have to come out with a procedure that states how it's been hardened and what procedures they take.
All right, I understand that now.
And last thing is, Candy, I agree with you 100% with what you said regarding, right. Yep. And I'm sure, like you said, Mark will review it, but before I think people consider going to council, I think it'd be good to go to P and Z, where we currently have 2 openings. That way they get to know how it works before they come up to council. So I agree. I mean, I think I've always been said that let's get as many people involved, but let's have them have the ability to learn what they're doing first, essentially, before they come up to planning account, to city council, for people to understand. Any questions on that or concerns? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Saunders?
Oh, sorry, one last thing. Budget season, it's coming up. We all love budget season. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff that's coming up with the November vote, with the potential loss of property taxes. But given how Minneola is been trending in the right direction for a long time regarding our financials, again, we do not take any projects on debt, which this council has been doing a great job on. Mark, before we get into the presentation of budgets, would it be possible for you to look to see if we can cut the millage rate from 5.5 to 5.4 without sacrificing any services or without sacrificing any priority of projects that we currently discussed earlier today?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Council, everybody
I
thinks?
concur with that.
Yep.
All of that?
Cool. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. All right.
Okay.
Joe, you have anything?
Mr. Saunders?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to say, but I have something to say. It has been a very long night. A lot of things have happened. I have 3.5 months left in this seat, and I plan on moving over to seat 1 and running for that seat. While I'm here for the 3.5 months, I'm asking council to please get along. Respect each other, respect the people in the audience. I myself am the first that have bit my tongue, that have sat back and not said some things that I've wanted to say, but because we are a city and we are set in higher standards being up here, we have to set a very good example. I do apologize to the audience. I apologize to the people hearing what's going on, the ones that are at home. I cannot condone what happened this evening on council. I can't. nothing personal, as we all have heard, everyone has said it, one way, shape, or another. But because I'm in this seat, I have to hold responsibility when council members step out of line, and again, I will be the one to apologize. So please, for me, let's all try and get along, and like my mom always used to say, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And that goes for everyone, audience, council, staff. And again, I do apologize. I can only do my best. I felt like I did my best, but I just wanted, for the record, just make it known how I personally feel. 3.5 more months. Let's make it a good one. Thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Thank you.
Motion.
Yeah, just one clarification, just for Debbie. So the mailer that was sent, that was not sent for my campaign. Just want to clarify.
Oh, I didn't, I
Okay, I
wouldn't
just
even go
wanted to
in there.
confirm,
Yeah, I was like, no.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Good evening, guys. Have a good one.